Here I was doing what ninjas do, making videos, eating some chicken, you know, typical stuff. And I'm about to release a video talking about Shannon Sharpe, and it's still in the chamber. I get a live notification from Ticket TV, another one from Willie D Live, another woman coming up, another woman coming out on Shannon Sharpe. Not for what you think, though, but just suing him, just basically just suing him just because. And who are they suing specifically? Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco. Why? Not because of sex, not because of whatever, just slander. And I'm like, didn't I just say this was going to happen to Shannon Sharpe? I'm telling you, I finished the video, and then I get this note. I finished the video of me making the Shannon Sharpe video, and I make a prediction that the powers that may be are going to target Shannon Sharpe's platform because he's not going to be starving. He's not going to be making the same money, but he's not going to be starving. I make a prediction on the video that I'm about to preview to you. I make and literally right after that. Maybe I didn't see the notifications on time. I go on a notification, see what Ticket TV talking about. And they're saying another woman is trying to sue Shannon Sharpe, but not because of sex, just straight up just targeting his platform. The bitch from the Usher concert that they was joking on is now suing them. This is so now once I see that notification, it's very clear what's happening. They're trying to destroy Shannon Sharpe with this now. And not only just destroying Shannon Sharpe, but using him to send a message. And most people couldn't see it because you know, when you see people going through something, and I tend to be very not necessarily just empathetic, but sympathetic because I always like, oh, this can happen to me. But watch this, because really, I should change the title of this YouTube video. Watch this. Watch this. Shannon Sharpe is being sued as we speak by another woman. Watch this. Watch this. Right here. Watch this. Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million after ESPN star shamed women over flirty vid with Usher and wrongly said husband left her. This woman right here that was in the Usher vid that made the rounds because they said allegedly she had a husband and she was out here flirting with Usher. And so now this bitch right here is suing Shannon Sharpe specifically for $20 million. If this is not a hit job, I don't know what is. Remember when R. Kelly was going off and we make fun of him, but it was like, this is not about music. Y'all trying to kill me, right? It was funny at the time, and it still is. But I get it. I completely get it now. I completely get it now. R. Kelly was like, this is not about music. They're trying to destroy Shannon Sharpe now. Because now she is suing his platform. They're suing. She's not necessarily just suing Shannon Sharpe. She's suing his platform. So right here, let's read the breaking news. Forget Shannon Sharpe being released from ESPN yesterday or over the weekend. Let's speak on what's happening right now with Shannon Sharpe's platform. With when you talk about Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, his two YouTube channels, over a million subscribers each, right? Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million after former ESPN star shamed a woman over a viral flirty video with Usher and wrongfully alleged her husband left her over the incident. In court documents exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun, the woman, Jamalita Tillman, is suing Sharpe as well as his Nightcap co-host Chad Ochocinco and the podcast production company Shay Shay Media. What do you think this is, guys? This is not. They're trying. They're just now. Even though he's done with ESPN, he doesn't have any other sponsorship deals. Now all he has left really is his media production, which is helping him with his YouTube channels, right? And what people don't understand is this: yes, he's gonna beat the claim, but now his production company is going to be the target of various lawsuits. They're just going to try to bankrupt Shannon Sharpe. They're just going to bankrupt. They're trying to completely break him to use him as an example that you just cannot do what you want. Meaning this: you have athletes now that are not necessarily exclusively signed to ESPN or Fox Sports or NBC Sports, whatever, right? They Most of these athletes now have their own podcasts, they have their own media companies, they have their own platforms. So they don't need these networks necessarily to do what they do. They go on these networks sparingly, and these networks are straight up just losing all their money, all their stuff to these independent platforms or these independent YouTube platforms. So if this goes through, it doesn't even have to go through. Now, the precedent has now been set because too many people were preying on Shannon Sharpe's downfall. The precedent has been set to now people can start suing people's YouTube platforms, but not only necessarily that. If you are a person where you're signed to a network on TV, but you have your own personal YouTube platform, they could now start putting stuff in your contracts where if you want to do something on TV, you can't have your own independent platform. This is the bigger play at hand. But before they can do stuff like that, they have to publicly delete your image. If that makes sense. They have to publicly defame your image before they start implementing what they want. I just wish people understood this. I just wish people really understood this, but it is what it is. Anyways, let me do a sound check real quick. Let me do a sound check. Just I want to make sure everything's coming out clear. This is going to be definitely one of one of the more shadow banned episodes. I put Disney in the hashtag. Let me do a sound check real quick. Disney in the hashtag. Here we go. Check. Okay, good. It looks like we're good. It looks like we're good in theory. But anyways, this is the larger powers at play. Now, here's the thing, because there was way too many black people that was on Twitter that was laughing at Shannon Sharpe getting fired, uh, laughing at Shannon Sharpe having to pay the lawsuit, but they don't understand there's a bigger play at hand. I obviously the extortion thing is real, but now that I see this, I'm like, oh, this is what they were trying to do all along. That cat, I will say this. People were talking about, oh, Cat Williams warned him. I'm gonna say this. It looks like that Cat Williams interview has costed Shannon Sharpe his career. I'm now that I'm looking at people talking about, oh, it was a warning and he ignored it. Nah, this is going to happen regardless. Somehow, some way. I think that Cat Williams interview costed him his career in terms of media. Because now, when you're seeing stuff like this, oh, I'm like, oh, you're trying to destroy this ninja, like really destroy this ninja. Where some random bish that was getting joked on because of an Usher concert is suing Shannon Sharpe's media production right after he just settled $20 million to some random OF chick, to some escort. This was the setup all along, looking for any avenue to destroy Shannon Sharpe. They say the woman claims to host knowingly propagated a false narrative about her marital status in court papers. Sharpe just settled a $50 million lawsuit with a woman who accused him of rape, and he was officially let go from his ESPN job on Wednesday. In Tillman's complaint, she explained, on April 2nd, 2025, I participated in a fan engagement moment at a Usher concert where I interacted with the artist as a selected audience member. The interaction quickly went viral after fans noted the intensity between Tillman and Usher in the fun moment. Following this event, the defendants made and disseminated false and defamatory statements suggesting that I was married and that my husband was filing for divorce due to my participation in this audience experience. I am not married, nor am I currently going through a divorce. Now, anybody that doesn't remember, Shannon Sharpe in Ocho Cinco, they was joking on the event, which most other people were, and joking on that specific part. And somebody already put out there that she was married. Maybe that was true, maybe it was not. I don't know. It looks like, and watch this, watch her explanation. She went on to explain, I was not married at the time of the fan participation moment during the Usher concert. The defendant's false narratives were shared widely across the platforms, reaching millions of followers. Viral spread and refutation efforts, despite my clear and public reputation of the false narrative. The woman, who is a global director for the Harold Washington Cultural Center, says she even went on national media shows to refute the allegations from the ESPN First Take star that she was a married woman. Now, how would she even have access to these national media shows? That's interesting. Despite that, she alleged the defendants continue to post the defamatory content across their social media platforms. She said, I made numerous efforts to contact the defendants to request the removal of this false narrative, but these requests were disregarded. Of course, because they was joking. They go, the single mother added that the false statements have caused a significant harm to my character and reputation. Interesting. So she's a single mother too. She was so I'll say this. She was with somebody during that time. Yes, she was. she definitely was. She was with somebody at this time. Maybe not necessarily married, but the point being, you had somebody, and now they're trying. Now she's trying to sue for defamation. But this is not. It's really not about that. There are. Do you know there are agents? There are people out there, people that work for companies. They look for things to sue powerful people on, technicalities. They look for people that have grievances with certain entities. And obviously this woman being one of them. You see how like even on people's YouTube channels, there are people that hate you so much. They will scroll through your YouTube channel and they will try to find one video of you saying something a little bit suspect, and then they will put a strike on your channel. This has happened to me. In October, I get a letter from a thing from YouTube saying, "Oh, my channel get a strike from a video I made 10 months prior." That means somebody has been just going through my YouTube, just snooping, looking for anything that they can find, which could trigger something. And it was the video where I made incels are not the problem. This is a 10-minute video I made 10 months prior to that strike. This is not something like a video I had made like recently. It was a video I made 10 months prior that I got a strike on. 10 months prior. So there are entities, they have agents, they have people that work for the company, they have lawyers that comb through your records, comb through anybody that has a grievance. You know, like even if you're under investigation by the cops, right? They try to see, okay, what can we use on a guy? Is there anybody that has grievance? This is what they do. So the powers that may be are using her. And it's going to be interesting to see what lawyer she uses or what lawyer team she uses. And people should really do their background research with that. And that should answer everybody's problems. I said the same thing with the this is a very common tactic. I don't know why people still haven't picked up on this with Antonio Brown's situation in 2019. He's causing all these problems at Raiders camp, and people don't understand what's going on. What was he doing? And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, he lands in the Patriots, and then it hit everybody. Damn, Antonio Brown played all of us. He played us. He acted a fool in training camp, so he would get cut, so he could then land with the Patriots because Brady was basically tampering, but they couldn't prove it. So what did they do? Literally a day after he signs with the Patriots, all of a sudden, SA lawsuit by some random bish that he used to F with. That was AFC, whatever AFC team that was out there, or whoever the Patriots rivals were, or whoever is enemies of the Patriots, whoever the team officials are, they were hiring people to see what can they use on Antonio Brown because he is the weak link because of his behavior. Is there anything that we can use to bring him down? Because all we got to do is defame him because he's a weak link. If we put a case on him, we can get him cut from the Patriots. People think that doesn't happen, but this is what I'm telling you. This is how it works, man. And we already knew once that case dropped on Antonio Brown, I knew it was bogus. But because of his public perception at the time, I knew Bill Belichick was going to cut him right after the first week. I knew it because what did they do? Even though the Patriots won, The Patriots won. All of the questions was, what are you going to do about Antonio Brown in this case? What are you going to do? They knew they all they had to do was piss off Belichick a little bit, and he was going to cut Antonio Brown. That whole press conference, they was just asking, what are you going to do about Antonio Brown in this case? What about this pending lawsuit? Is there anything you're going to do about it? They knew that was going to piss off Bill. AB got to go. Now, the Patriots have been known to do stuff like this. And I believe that was just really retribution from other teams, because the Patriots at that time, they were just getting their way. They just getting. So that was just another way of the people just playing them back. But this is how this is the entertainment industry, bro. NFL entertainment industry. This is how cold the entertainment industry is. They're not going to just take you out. They're just going to defame you. Then they take you out. Because they can't just take you out. Then they're just going to be a martyr. And too many people are going to start asking questions. Why did he get taken out? Say the U.S. Sun has reached out to Sharpe's attorney for comment. Oh, no, let me read from the top. Says the ongoing misinformation has resulted in emotional distress for the plaintiff, damaged her reputation, and adversely affected her personal and professional relationships. The Chicago native, whose previously homeschooled daughter received her doctorate while still a teenager, is seeking. What? Why does that have to do with anything? Is seeking $20 million in damages. The U.S. Sun has reached out to Sharpe's attorney for comment. He said in a conversation with the U.S. Sun, Tillman added, "We've been in communication with the legal team of Shay Media, who was also representing Shannon Sharpe. They're looking to resolve this matter quickly, and we will probably have more to share upon our next conversation." The lawsuit comes on the heels of the news that ESPN fired him this week after he settled another expensive lawsuit earlier this month with a woman who accused him of rape. They're trying to destroy this ninja. They're trying to. It's very clear what's happening now. Oh yeah, and then he has another. I forgot he does have another pending lawsuit with that other 50-year-old bitch, another chick he used to mess with back in the day. Oh man, saying that she got raped while back while they were together. This is when Sharpe was. This was during Shannon Sharpe's playing days. So that other bitch. But yeah, this is clearly so watch this. Let me show you something real quick. First Take's viewing figures. So when Shannon Sharpe joined First Take, they're just showing that when Shannon Sharpe joined First Take, he significantly helped the viewing numbers for First Take. Significantly. So now what you have are these athletes or these former athletes. They're basically becoming bigger than the platforms that employ them. So they don't really have. So even if they do get fired off these platforms, they're fine. A lot of them. And I'll say sports network TV isn't like necessarily the music industry. So they're not going to outright just murk you, but it's just as cold blooded. They're seeing the trend and they're trying to use Shannon Sharpe as an example. We're suing Shay Media. What the? Why? Shout out to Gary Grant in the chat. Shay Media, Shannon Sharpe's media company, is now being sued by a random bish because Shannon Sharpe was joking on her. Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco was joking on her about her allegedly cheating on her husband or whatever man she had at the time at an Usher concert. Now she's suing the media company for slander for a $20 million lawsuit, suing the Shannon Sharpe's media company for slander. I kept trying to tell people all this stuff about because now this is what's going to happen. Shannon Sharpe is going to get destroyed eventually. They're going to keep targeting his media company. And you know what black people are going to be just doing? Oh, man, all they do is target. Man, a black man can't get ahead. Well, you had a chance to stick up for your fellow so-called black man, but all of you guys kept making jokes and saying he deserved it on Twitter for just because of his sexual preference for liking white women. He deserved to get sued and targeted just because he prefers to be with white women. Even though he's had all of his kids by black women, mind you. All of his kids are black. All of his kids came from black women. Oh man. But they didn't see the bigger picture. So now it's clear what this is all along. Even I didn't see this. It's clear. They're trying to destroy the independent athlete media member who has his own platform. These new athletes or these former athletes, they don't need these sports networks anymore. They'll have their own podcast, and then they'll work for ESPN, FS1, or NBC Sports, but they all have their own independent platforms. So they don't need these companies anymore. And Shannon Sharpe was a mega proof of that. Look at the interviews he was able to secure. Look at the numbers he was able to do by himself. Look at he's been able to build 2 million subscriber channels off of him just talking. And like I said, the sports network it isn't as cold blooded as the music industry, but it's close. And this is an example of what they can do. But now it's clear what the picture was. Now you're gonna have his media company. His media company is just gonna get targeted. And you know what black people gonna do? Oh, they're just doing this because he's a black man. No, that ship has sailed. You guys did not stick up for your brother when it was needed. You should have really revolted and stopped. Like you really should have really sent a strong message out there. Like, yo, why are you doing this to Shannon Sharpe with this bogus grape case? But nope. And they knew, and black people knew it was fake, but they were just happy just because he he dates a white woman. And they didn't understand the bigger play. Black people made the same mistake with Bill Cosby, particularly black male comedians. They didn't understand, okay, y'all mad that Bill Cosby said he doesn't like y'all comedy because y'all be cursing. Who cares? Who cares? I'm like, y'all never had one of them OGs that don't like what you're doing because that's just life. But because when Bill Cosby started getting those allegations put on him, most people they were happy because they're like, you hypocrite. It was an opportunity for the young OGs or the younger people under Cosby to be like, you see, you got caught up in something and you talking about it. No, you guys don't understand. There's something bigger happening here. There's something bigger happening here. But everybody always want to one up each other, and where stuff like this can literally happen to any of us. Now it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late. It's because what's gonna happen is they're gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be people being destroyed off the what they call it, like the aftermath, the shrapnel is gonna hit a lot of us, and we're not gonna realize it's because of that case with Shannon Sharpe or what they're trying to do to Shannon Sharpe right now. But that's the breaking news right now. That's the breaking news. This bitch here now has been empowered by whoever. She's not going to give up her handler. She's not going to give up the, excuse me, the agents that encouraged her, that has empowered her to do this, because you do know, like, these entities, they get these frivolous lawsuits, they get these things all the time. But what happens is if they need something, they look for a weak link. So say if I got famous, they're gonna be combing through my past. They're gonna be looking for anything, parking ticket, something. If I just blow up out of nowhere, they're going to be looking for something in my past. They're gonna look for something, and if they can't find nothing, they'll probably make something up. They're gonna look. They're going to look for something. If you blow up in the future, they're going to look for something. This is what they do. They try to look for any weak links to anybody, and specifically they look for people or entities that have a problem with you, and they try to see if is this something that we could use to exploit this person and exploit his resources, or exploit the following that he has. This is the entertainment industry. The goal for you is not to become rich. The goal for you, an independent, the goal for the entertainment industry or the people that run this game is for you to be dependent on them. That's the game. But anyways, let's hit up. I want to show you guys something. I found something interesting. I want to show this real quick. Samantha Gibson, right here. So this is interesting right here. Tyrese Gibson's ex-wife wants him thrown in jail for not paying $500,000 in divorce debt. This chick right here, $500,000. This chick that I've been talking about for years now. Do I have her picture? Here we go. That chick that you see on the left. the black. I keep telling you, people think the black man's kryptonite is overweight women or overweight white women. No, it's these light skinned chicks, these fair skinned chicks that can pass off as another race, not necessarily as white, but just as like those light skinned black chicks that can pass off as Latina. Though, and it don't matter really how much they weigh or if they're skinny or not. Those are the ones that dark skinned dudes like Tyrese, they will die over. But anyways, this chick right here, Tyrese Gibson's ex-wife wants him thrown in jail for not paying $500,000 in divorce debt. This bitch still ain't move on. Now, anybody that doesn't know Samantha Gibson, like Samantha, she has a manosphere channel. Believe it or not, she has a manosphere channel. And I'm talking about in her manosphere channel, where she's a dating coach, and then talking about what men need to do, and women are doing this to men and all this stuff. And meanwhile, she's still dragging Tyrese in family court. It's wild. I don't even know how the black manosphere allowed this bitch to rise up the ranks without her being called out. I remember first seeing her channel. I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is. Like, yo, what? How does she even have a channel? I was perplexed. I was perplexed. But this is the stuff that we do, especially black men. You know, we men want to talk about, oh, Women are only going to listen to what they want to hear, but there's this niche in people don't understand. There's a niche now to for there's a niche, a section where women can come in and say, "Oh, women are evil and they do this to men. Follow my dating course," and they will have all these male subscribers listening to everything that they say just because they repeat manosphere talking points or black manosphere talking points, and they will get damn near 1 million subscribers. And men fall for it all the time. They say Samantha Gibson says the singer and actor has shown blatant disregard for court orders requiring him to pay her hefty legal bill from the divorce. Bitch, you wanted to divorce him and you still want him to pay. What's Yo, what's wrong? Oh my god, man. Tyrese's ex-wife, Samantha, wants the singer thrown in jail over accusations that he still owes almost $500,000 in fees to her attorneys in their never-ending divorce case. What you mean her never-ending divorce case? More than 4 years after the pair split, Samantha Gibson filed a lawsuit Friday, July 25th, claiming that he has made no effort whatsoever to pay a court order near $400,000 to the attorneys that repped her in the divorce, a figure that has now ballooned to $500,000 due to interest. Interest is is a MFer. Trust me, I would know. Anyways, Mr. Gibson has the ability to pay the court ordered attorney's fees and accrued interest and chooses to ignore the court's orders. So this is all allegedly, though, by the way, as he has ignored and violated prior orders. She writes in her complaint, later calling it a blatant disregard for this court's order on fees. Why doesn't this, Samantha, I don't know, like Samantha Gibson, like when you talk about like women like Samantha Lee, Joy Taylor, who else? Like these people are like pure evil. Imagine you're a woman like a Samantha Lee and you make a manosphere channel. I'm talking about right after you you make the manosphere channel right after you break up your own family. You create a manosphere channel to grift off men, trying to warn men about women that are trying to do this to you and that to you, while simultaneously I'm talking about destroying Tyrese physically, and psychologically. Pure evil, man. They say that's punishment for the non-payment. The filing called for a harsh penalty, being held in criminal contempt of court and sent to jail for 20 days. A spokesman for Tyrese declined to comment on Tuesday. Oh yeah, by the way, she like this could all stop. Or I know this doesn't have to do anything with child support, but you do know that like when you see men being locked up for child support, you do know that women can stop that by just not putting the man on child support or just saying, I don't want to put my baby father on child support anymore. They could literally stop all of this stuff from happening. Him getting harassed by the police, him getting harassed by the courts. There are stories out there specifically of black women where they will say, look, I don't want to put my baby father on child support anymore. And there will be people in the courts there, and they're literally hounding the baby mom to destroy that man. They're like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You need to put him on. And like where I remember there was one bitch talking about like she was getting followed, she was getting stalked and hounded by the police. Like this is wild work. People don't understand. Like this is we talking about powers that the powers that may be, bigger powers at play. You know what I mean? Like this is something that people don't really take into account. This is why I always say, like, if you're a woman and you putting your baby father through that, you're just evil. That's why, like, I laugh when you'll see dudes like, oh yeah, my baby mama's cool. I'm like, if your baby mama's cool, she wouldn't put you on child support. She like what person that's cool with you is cool with suing you? If she put a case on you, it's one thing if you put yourself on child support, but she does that herself. That's a declaration of war. They said when the Gibsons finalized the divorce in 2023, the judge overseeing the case ordered Tyrese to pay his ex-wife's legal bills from the case, including $217,000 to the Glecklin law firm and another $181,000 to Bloom Lines Alexander. Okay. Since then, the pair has battled repeatedly over that debt and others. In September, the judge ordered Tyrese to be taken into custody after holding him in contempt for failing to pay child support. He was released just hours later. Yeah, this is the stuff that happens. And women could like easily stop this from happening, but they just want to show that, oh, I have control over you, even though the system is just using you to break up the family and to set an example for other men in general, but they don't see it like that. They said a month later, the Glecklin firm filed for a lien on the Stars Atlanta mansion over the huge legal bill debt. Now, Samantha and her lawyers filed a new civil lawsuit seeking a new contempt order that they hope will force him to finally pay up. The Movens respectfully request that the court, in making its finding of willful contempt, impose severe sanctions upon Mr. Gibson as deemed appropriate by the court in light of his history of violating court orders. Her lawyers write in the new filing. Anyways, this bitch. Why doesn't she get a job? Yeah. He said, I didn't know you were going to stream today. It's interesting. The videos I drop, certain videos I drop, people will get the notifications, and some certain things that that others won't. You know, it's interesting how the algorithm works sometimes. But I'll say this, yeah, my numbers have been interesting ever since I got the warning. It wasn't a strike, but ever since I got the warning with the 6'8" video, 6'8" the Great, my views have been horrendous. Even for like the like super viral topics. But ever since with my warning with the 6'8" the Great ones, even my regular videos, you know. But so not everybody's always getting the notifications on time and all that. And I'm mind you, I'm not this is not like how I used to do it where I was doing these live streams last minute. I always give it like an hour or two. I set them up an hour or two before. So this is what happens now. Let me show you another story. I want to show you something real quick. I saw something very interesting regarding um Erica Mena, right? I saw something. And oh yeah, oh, by the way, I don't think you're ever gonna see me cover Love Island on this channel. That's another. I mean, wow! I cannot believe people like shows like this. I don't believe it. It'd be people in their late 20s, in their 30s, talking about Love Island. And you're just like, what? No, absolutely not. But I saw something with Erica Mena, which was very interesting, where it was a video of Safari singing at a Chris Brown concert, basically just enjoying his life. And the bitch made a post, the baby mother to Safari, basically mad at him for enjoying his life. And it's crazy now where where all the things that have been dismissed about men, where men have complained about women just using child support or whatever legal issues that they have with each other, just basically using anything that we have, and basically just us enjoying our life is a problem when you're dealing with a bitter baby mom. And it always used to be dismissed, but now with the thing with TikTok, you got Instagram, you got bitches making, posts on their story, basically revealing that they're bitter and out to destroy the father's life. So right here. Okay, right here. So let me open this post in a new tab. So right here. So she drops this right after this video drops. So right here, this is a video of Safari just basically enjoying life. He's at a Chris Brown concert singing to Chris Brown's music, right? Right? Him just acting a plump, ninja fool, right? He's just out there living life. And that's all he doing is just living his life, acting over emotional, playing it up to whoever's recording it. He's just acting a fool. Just typical ninja stuff, right? Obviously, I don't think I can play the he's just acting a fool, right? So right here, she makes a post on her story. This is the stuff like women got to stop doing this. Because like now the only argument that they have for guys like us is, oh, that's not all women. That's all they can say. But anyways, she goes on to post the world's poster boy deadbeat at the Chris Brown concert, shedding fake tears for yet another man. Clown, ain't you in court right now lying under oath about being broke just so you don't have to lift a finger or a dollar for kids you don't even see? Even your mother should be ashamed. Now, mind you, she's the one fighting him for custody, meaning he wants custody of his kids. He tried to fight for it. She's trying to block it. And at the same time, she's complaining about him being a deadbeat. This is the same woman that they caught on camera using a ladder to trespass on his property just to argue with this ninja. They've caught her on camera doing, similar things many times. And now he's just at a Chris Brown concert and she's still counting his pockets. And this is the stuff that many men have complained about for years. And the thing is, what women would say is, "Oh man, where are you meeting these women?" But now you have the women; they're just putting it out there themselves. There's no denying that this stuff happens because she's not even cognizant. The evil doers, not like women do evil now. So when men were the ones doing the dirt, they knew men knew, part of their brain knew, okay, this is kind of wrong. Let me put my dirt on the hush. Women now, because of Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff, they'll just say they're dirt and they don't even realize what they're saying or what they're putting out there is really showing who they are. So they don't even like Erica Mena is good. She puts this post up there. She doesn't even realize she's wrong for this. Right? So this makes it even worse. And it shows you that this is why you'll have a lot of dudes, if they're dealing with a baby mom, they'll say, oh, I can't. If I have a girlfriend, I can't. I got to make sure she don't find out or she's going to put me on child support. So it really calls into question who's really the abuser here when they talk about them being in toxic and abusive relationships, and you'll hear stuff like this. clearly, if there was an abusive relationship, because I already know if you ask Erica Mena, she's probably gonna say Safari's is abusive. And like she's already going into, he's a deadbeat, he's this and that. But the reality is she's she's the toxic person. She's the abuser, right? But nobody's gonna tell her that. No, nobody's gonna tell her that. So now you're looking at the comments right here. You even have women here saying, "Look, she hates to see him just living life. I hate that for her." Somebody said, "I just have a question. Was he a deadbeat after the first or the second kid?" You know. Somebody said, "Damn, he can't go to a concert." Yeah. Even when, like, people don't even understand this, even when you are married, even if you are in a relationship, most men are not necessary. They usually get shamed for purchasing things that is just, something that for them to enjoy. It's going to be brought up later. Oh, why did you purchase this when the bills are not paid, or this is not paid, and blah blah blah. So a lot of this happens not only in a situation like baby father, baby mother situation. This also happens in a together, situation, right? Where the man and the woman are together. The man is going to be shamed from doing stuff like this, right? Somebody said, "I wish women would just acknowledge that you made a bad decision, take the L, and move on graciously." Nope. Somebody said, "Damn, she hasn't found a stepdad yet. Girl, we don't chase, we replace." Yeah. But that mindset in and of itself, and now people are shocked where you got all these where we're in a generation with kids living out of suitcases, being raised by everybody but their parents, and they're just shocked where they're just shocked that now you got these bitches, they turn 14, and all of a sudden they want to be a OF star as soon as they hit 18. They want to OF as soon as they hit 18, and people don't put two and two together. Usually people that join the adult entertainment industry, these were people that were unfortunately violated when they were younger. And we already know the statistics when it comes to stepdads and when it comes to stepdads or kids that live in a single mother household, not single parent household, single mother household, right? The statistics that come with living in a single mother household, and they for some reason they can't put two and two together. Why this is happening? Why you have women acting a certain way? You have a generation now, a whole generation of kids where it's just normalized to just be raised by all these other different people, be around all these different babysitters, all these different men in their lives. The mom going through several boyfriends. You got comedians making jokes about it, which is really trying to warn the normies of this behavior, but we don't care until it's too late. This whole, "Oh man, girl, we don't chase, we replace." All right. Okay. But anyways, yep. That's what she did. And I don't know if I did show the video about that, but she was caught on camera taking the ladder, climbing over his property just to when there was a restraining order, and she still violated him. And I'm talking about, there are women that saw this and they're still on Erica Mena's side, and you're just like, bruh, she's clearly the problem. Clearly, it's not even close. Like, that's like a situation. It's not even close. You know. So Pyro said Lana did the same thing. Oh, you talking about Lana R? Okay. He said when she says she, as soon as she turned 18, she wanted to join the adult industry. Yeah, you're seeing like this uptick of women where they're saying they already, like, as soon as they turn 18, they want to do this. Even I'm talking about, AJ was talking about this yesterday, where you have pretty chicks where all they had to do was just literally just go to college. They don't even have to do anything in college. They don't even have to learn anything. They would find some surgeon or some doctor or whatever, some lawyer up, and they would just find him, marry him, and then basically be set. Divorce him, find somebody else, and they'll be still set. Now you have those same broads saying they want to be on OF as soon as they turn 18. Like, as soon as they turn 18, they're giving people the links to their OF, and then simultaneously talking about men are predators for for watching. This is it's wild. It's wild now. This is the result of a whole generation, when you have a whole generation where it's just normalized to not really grow up. And see, I'm not talking about growing up without your father, but I'm talking about growing up where your dad is not going to be there from ages 0 through 18, and growing up just making it normal that there's just going to be different types of dudes in and out the house, and just normalizing it. This is the results. They want to talk about, co-parenting, oh, we're co-parents. That's got to be one of the biggest like one of the worst things that has been introduced into the silicon. Sorry, the lexicon. Sorry, but in the lexicon, one of the worst words to be introduced to the normies. Oh, we're co-parenting. That's got to be one of the worst words out there. And we're seeing the results of, because they don't really have the results of co-parenting over a long-term time, because this is really new, the stuff that we're doing. Oh, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see the results of that. We're already witnessing this as we speak, where the people that should have kids are not having kids, and the people that are already broken are having the most kids. Cooked. Yep, they are cooked. Oh man, this is wild. So Diddy's legal team files motion requesting acquittal or new trial, calls conviction unconstitutional. Nah, we ain't gonna do that one. But I just wanted to show that piece of information where you'll see this a lot, because women right now, they'll get in their emotions, then they'll post a story on their IG, and everybody now, it's like the playbook is basically out there now, and there's nothing that you can really do to say that the people on this side of the internet are wrong. There's really nothing because they can't help themselves. It doesn't matter how many channels they can delete. The women can help. They cannot help themselves. It doesn't matter. The women cannot help themselves. They're going to do these things. They're just going to keep doing these things. I want to bring up. Let's see. Also, what else? What else we got here? What else do we have? What else do we have? Oh yeah. By the way, I will say this: membership might be coming soon. Membership might be coming soon, and I'm gonna put some interesting stuff on there. Membership might be coming soon. Membership might be coming soon. A lot sooner than you think. You're gonna see some interesting stuff on. Oh yeah, and oh, by the way, I was talking to somebody, I guess somebody that I knew at the time, and I hinted at, my YouTube channel and what was going on. And they were like, "Oh, what about like people that they said, have you ever had like people that was with you for a long time and then they stopped subscribing to you after an altercation or you disagree with somebody?" And I was like, "Well, I remember somebody that was like, I've had people like leave the show over a disagreement, right? And stuff like this. But people have a very um they have a very interesting way. Like I remember I saw something because it reminded me of something that I saw with Coach Greg Adams recently. So Coach Greg Adams, he had a video. He had something that came out. He was talking about the T app. That's what he was talking about. Yeah, he was talking about the T app, and it was weird because he was saying, really, us dudes, we don't have to worry about the T app, and it was an interesting perspective. So I disagree with that, but it was an interesting perspective. You heard him out, and I understood where he was coming from. I understood what he was where he was coming from, right? But there was people in the comment section. They started like dissing him, like really like straight up dissing. I'm like, okay, what did he do? His point being is a lot of you guys don't get no punani anyway, so you don't have anything to worry about, right? And people started like making like they started talking about, oh, he's jaded and he's 5'6", so he's never had a woman actually desire him and all this stuff. And I was looking at these comments, but that one stuck out to me specifically because right now I'm in a situation where right right now I'm in a situation because there are certain women that have praised me openly. I'm starting to get I'm starting to get random jealousy stares or just random jealous attacks from people that are 6 feet tall, 5'9", 5'10", whatever, just because a woman has come out and sung their praises about me. So there are people now on my case that I had no idea that were on my case. This is something I'm talking about very recent. Guys, when you hear about this stuff about 6 feet tall and all this stuff, that's just when a woman is asking for 6 feet tall, $100,000. She's talking about, this is the person I want to rescue me from my bad decisions. You think she ain't messed with drug dealers that were like 5'2"? Believe it or not, I've seen these things. 5'9", 5'10". Like there's dudes that are 5'9" and 5'10" that think they're short. I'm like, stop listening to what these bitches say on social media. If you're 5'9" and you're 5'10", you're fine. You're not short. If you're 5'9" or 5'10", the average male height is 5'9". If you're under 5'8", which is me, that's when you're going to start having problems. But if there's dudes that are 5'9", 5'10", and they're worried about their height. I'm like, you're fine. You're still towering over most bitches. And I do find it interesting. You have these people that attack people with experience, with real life experience, and then they start bringing up your physical traits. And then I always try to tell people, especially when it comes to my height, me being 5'7", the people that have attacked me for my height when I was a kid was not women. It was men. I'm talking about publicly making fun of how much how tall I am. And the only women that have given me have given me stick about my height in public or try to publicly embarrass me about my height have been fat women. this is these are just facts. These are just facts. So because when I read the comment section, it was people going. I'm like, you do know, like Coach Greg Adams, he's worked in women's basketball. Um, he's coached women. He's been a coach. He's been married. He's lived in California. So he like so guys like that, they see like the how cutthroat women can be just in general. If you especially if you live because Coach Greg Adams, he said he claims that he lived in Orange County or so like that area. That's like and anyway, but the stuff that I'll hear Coach Greg Adams say, I won't agree necessarily all the times, but he's one of the few guys in that space, that manosphere space, I can tell he has actual experience because I've witnessed the stuff that he's talked about like firsthand. He's one of the rare people that outside of Aaron Clary and Better Bachelor, I would recommend him only because I can tell when he talks, he's talking about his experience. He's talking about stuff that he saw, right? And even the stuff that women complain about, he's pretty spot on. So that's where I give him a lot. I give CGA a lot of grace, even though he basically left the MGTOW movement. He basically separated himself from the MGTOW movement, even though he started off as MGTOW, right? So I'm still holding on to that. And I didn't really mind his growth per se. But there are a lot of guys out there. They need to touch grass. They need to touch grass. Right. There's a lot of things out there in this life where you do things a certain way and they're just shocked. Okay, what like let me give up like I'm gonna give you I know I'm ranting a little bit, but I'm gonna give you another example. I'm gonna give you, but it's not okay. So Pyro said, "Motherfucker has tall people jealous." Chris, no, it's not. It's like they're not the people like me. It's not necessarily tall people. It's like the actual tall people. Because if you're a tall person, is somebody that's like is like somebody that's like 6'2" and above. That's like tall. So those guys, they have no problems with me, really. It's the people in between when you're talking about 5'10", 5'11", 6 feet, right? For some like those people in between, those are actually the dudes that a lot of women have problems with because yes, they're like the average size, but there's still dudes out there that are taller than them. There's still dudes that are quote unquote they feel that are beneath them but are still excelling. They're still excelling at life better than most, right? It's really those people that's from 5'9" through 6 feet tall. Those are the people that are having the most problems really in the dating market. Okay. Now, I can be a bit oblivious to this because, like I said, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, I would play sports, I would do music, right? Um, I excelled at a lot of things that garnished a lot of attention from hoes. That's just life. So I'm a bit insulated from that. So I didn't really realize what the average man was going through until I hit college. Really, I'm being quite frank with you. So I used to like you'll hear and I can say a little bit in high school, but I've always been insulated because yes, I was a loser per se, but I was still like yes, I was a loser socially in high school, but I still was known by everybody. Meaning because I was still doing sports, I was still doing music. The people that were of a social hierarchy, I could access them at any time, no problem. So there were certain privileges I got because of my talents outside of having to kiss anybody's ass that people have held that against me ever since I was a kid. I just know this. There's no other way to put this. So I've always caught slack from a lot of those in between people, the people that are not necessarily talented or the people that are just they're trying to look for an edge up. They're trying to look for anything that they can get onto. So it wasn't really until college till I realized, oh shoot, this is what dudes is really going through. Oh, this is what's happening. Oh, dudes aren't really out here being predators. You know what I mean? I used to really think that like dudes is out here doing things. But even with that, I had to learn the cause of all of these things, right? Because I've always been my own person. So, like, even the stuff that I'm doing right now. So, right now, I'm going to predict something real quick on this channel. And I hope I don't get snitched on. Right now, I'm doing work with this transformer, right? And this is music related. Now, when I literally produced a track this week. So this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. The track is going to come out. People are going to be shocked that I worked with him slash her. And this is what's gonna happen. The result of this is not gonna be slander, believe it or not. I'm gonna it from the looks of it, it looks like this is gonna help me because you know how Bish is gonna be like, wow, I never. Because unfortunately, what happens is people of that rainbow community they be knowing bad Bishes somehow. I don't know how this is possible, but this is what's happened. I talked to this person, and this person said I was the first person that gave him a chance to work with him. The first person, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, the fuck? Unfortunately, the unintended side effect is, yeah, you'll have people be like, hey, why are you working with this this rainbow person, Chris? And you didn't work with nobody else. But the other unintended side effect is there's gonna be bitches. Oh, this man is really confident to be working with somebody. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna get more people on my neck. I'm gonna get more people on my neck. Yeah, I didn't. I literally I told him straight to his face, and maybe I gotta also ask him. Maybe am I respecting your pronouns? You know what I mean? I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be like, hey, bro, just off GP. I think unfortunately, what the unintended side effects of this is gonna be dudes is gonna have questions for me, but at the same time, girls is gonna be like, oh, maybe he's not that bad. Maybe he's. But the reason I'm doing this track with this said person is because I just didn't have the heart really to say no, and this person has been very respectful towards my cause. You know what I mean? And remember, told that story about how bro was in the green room. He bought tickets to see our show in the green room, and nobody was really hanging with him, so he ended up staying in the show. And I felt bad. I legitimately felt bad. So that's really what it is. But at the end of the day, I don't mind. I can work with anybody. I can work with anybody. But that's gonna be the unintended side effects. It's gonna be bitches coming out and say, "Oh my god, I didn't know you made this track with so and so. You're the first person to have this track with blah blah blah." This is on this is and that's not the reason why I did this. Trust me. I have some regrets doing this, but since this person is a good person in general, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. But the like I said, that unintended consequence, this has literally been my life. So like when I remember when I was younger. I'm talking about yeah, when I was way younger. I'm playing like my team. I didn't know there was a specific teammate I had. We got along, but I didn't know that he was of a certain status. So I remember entering this establishment with this person, and all of a sudden, news spread out. Oh, don't you know him? Oh, y'all smoke together? And I'm like, no. Do you do this? No. Can you tell? No. Do you? Oh, do you have his number? Yes. Can you give it to me? No. Fuck I look like. But most people, to get in those circles, they have to cater to the ego. They have to suck dick. They have to smoke with the person. They got to do something outside of themselves to enter certain things. Most of the times in my life, even though I'm at like the lowest part of my life right now, really, I don't have to do that. Most people, they got to do this, they got to do that. I don't have to do that. I've never really had to do that. And people have held that against me, specifically men. So it is what it is. Like there's like certain dudes that I found out that had a resentment towards me, and I had no idea. I had no idea. And it's because a woman was involved. A woman has been out there singing my praises a little bit too much, and now I got to deal with the backlash of that shit. So it's just like whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. There's a lot of people out there, they don't touch grass, and then they'll see somebody like me excelling in life, or they think I'm excelling in life. That's really what it is. They think I'm excelling because I don't really look at myself as a social person in general. I'm not. But they think I got it all like that. So much so, like there'll be certain women that will enter my life thinking I'm socially up there just because it looks like I am, and I'm not boasting about it. I'm not bragging about it. Everywhere that I'm at is based off of talent or based off, okay, this guy can do his job here. Let me add him there, right? So Pyro says men are so salty for real, Chris. As soon as a woman gets in the picture, like I'm talking about, everything can be going very well within this group. Then a girl enters the picture, and I'm talking about the girl don't have to be doing nothing wrong. She just enters the picture, and it kind of messes up the dynamic. Now I'm not saying that the girl's not cute. I'm not saying that, but I'm not going to use her to put down my fellow man. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Right. But when a girl enters the group, it just complicates things. And I already know. I just know that off rip. I know that off rip. But yeah, this work that I'm doing with this dude right now, I already know there's gonna be another girl that will enter the fray of my life that is going to complicate things because they're gonna find out I'd work with Broski, and they're gonna think, oh, maybe this guy is confident in his masculinity. Nope, I'm still conservative. I still don't really want women around me, just in general. No disrespect, but I just decided to do this because I felt bad and I respected his approach to things. And now it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be worse because I talked to him. He said, "You're the first person out of the area that we're working at. The first person that wants to work with me." And I had to play it off like, "Damn, I didn't know that." Meaning, but obviously, I really didn't know that. But meaning, I had to act like I didn't know the reason why they didn't want to work with him. So that's what I mean by that. Like, damn, I didn't know that. Not necessarily because I would have thought that he did work with people, but I had to cover up the fact that I know why they don't want to work with it. Because first of all, dudes are not going to want to do a music collaboration with an openly gay man or a transformer in this case, right? Why? Because they don't want the rumors to be like, "Oh my God, this guy is he sleeping with him?" That's most people are not progressive. They say they are, but they're not. Now, I've never really been a dude that cares about that kind of stuff. So that's always been a gift and a curse to me. So in elementary school, my three friends, I had three really close friends, which was two girls and one dude. One of the dude was borderline GAY. One of the girls was one of the prettiest girls at the time. I didn't realize it until afterwards. And it made sense to why I was getting the arrows at my at my character that I was. Same thing in middle school. Same thing in middle school. Same thing in middle school. One of the girls that I knew at the time was my friends. Certain dudes wanted to get at her. She looked up to me. I didn't have feelings for her. I'm wondering where these arrows are coming from. I have no idea where these. I remember, like, even in 8th grade, somebody spread a rumor about me that I stole money from a teacher. I'm like, where's this coming from? The prettiest girl at the school at the time, she snitched. She said, "Oh, this somebody's spreading this rumor about you. I just want to let you know." I was like, "Thank you," but I'm like, "Where is this?" I'm like, "Where's this stuff coming from?" But I know what it is. It's just I show up. They don't think I deserve shit because of what I look like, right? the fresh Prince CEO disease, right? They think I don't deserve it because of what it is. They just think I'm a freak of nature, and I get these arrows thrown at me from people I would have never thought. The people I would have never thought. I remember being in. There's been so many times where women have come to me and said, these couple of dudes are plotting on you, and you'd be like, nah, that's not happening. Then I do a little bit of research, and then this is, and I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening to me. This is wild. All for the hose. All for the hose. I gotta make that a soundbite. For the hose. All for the hose. So Pyro said, if somebody's trying to get jealous over some women talking to me, I'm going to put them on blast just for that. I will say this though, I'm very glad that I'm almost at that age. So I'm about to hit 30. So I'm 27. So 30 is right around the corner. So once I start hitting my 30s and my wrinkles can't hide itself no more because I age really fast, right? So hopefully the nonsense, can stop. Let me see. Everybody hates Chris. Facts. Oh shoot. But because I used to be like, man, why these people are taking these shots? Like I'm telling you, if there was no holes involved, it doesn't happen. I'm telling you. The most love I ever got from a group of men is like when there was no hoes involved. Pause. When I because I remember being like in this like certain like groups, like when you're in churches or whatever. But when there's no, like I'm saying, there's no hoes involved. All of a sudden, it's all good. It's all good. When there's no hoes involved, it's all good. And I can name like I can literally name those moments in time, whatever. But now, at first, like I said, when I was doing my little music thing at the studio, it was all good. It was all good at first. Hoes got involved. Just now there's certain. I'm not talking about the drunk hoe. Like I'm not talking about those filler hoes. I ain't talking about the outside hoes that are just watching. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the bitches that are involved. We're not talking about the crowd. We're talking about women that are involved in what you're doing. Then it's a problem. And I'm talking about the hodo. The hodo even had to be talented. Like even like with the co-ed, there's this she's a single mom of like two, but she liked me. But that's because she's a single mom. That's why she liked me. There were people on that team that try to basically push her off of me. I'm talking about men and women because they felt like I was this, I was aloof, I didn't talk to nobody, and people didn't understand. I was just doing that co-ed run because somebody invited me, and I just want to I just want to put some work in. And it doesn't. And the thing is, it works better if you're a person that likes to talk to people. If you're very social, but if you're a person you don't already talk to people, and certain people take a liking to you, and they feel like you ain't put no work in, people gonna feel it's a certain type of way. Pyro says, yes, every time my homies see women, they start acting different, switching up and making a fool of themselves. I know women must find that corny. Yes, that's another thing too. Yes, women do find that corny. Yes. Yes. But anyway, what's it? It's 9:30 right now. It's 9:30 right now. Let me see what we got. Let me see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Oh, so right here, somebody I saw this tweet go viral. Somebody somebody says Shannon Sharpe staged this whole thing so people would think he's attracted to women, by the way. Now, that's obviously a joke, but I'll say this. Shannon Sharpe is obviously this isn't staged per se, but Shannon Sharpe has gone through a lot of trouble, it seems like, in his personal life, even before he got super famous like this. Even he's been involved in lawsuits before regarding him and women. Shannon Sharpe has gone through a lot of trouble to really tune down the gay allegations. So much so when people talk about that IG live incident, that was staged. Shannon Sharpe staged that so because he's sensitive about those gay allegations. So which calls into question, why did he settle with that OF girl? And I told you guys, I believe Shannon Sharpe had did some compromising things with that girl, which called into question his sexuality. And now, because of that, that OF girl and Tony Busby, with the help of Tony Busby, they were able to exploit that to get money out of him. Because Shannon Sharpe is from that time where if you come out as gay, it would break your grandmother's heart, right? You would lose your fame, you would lose your family, and all this stuff. So this Shannon Sharpe has been going through a lot just to hide that part of his personality. That's why I believe the next stage for Shannon Sharpe, if he wants these things to stop happening to him, he needs to come clean and be honest about his sexuality. He needs to be honest about what he likes and what he does. And then he needs to countersue for discrimination and blackmail. That's what he really needs to do, but he's not going to do that because he's from that time where being gay is taboo. It's not that long ago when back in the day where somebody came out as gay, it would ruin their fan base. It's still, you see it today. There's a lot of famous uh male celebrities that are sex symbols to women. They can't come out as gay until later on in life. But while they're in their 20s or in their 30s or 40s even, they have to play the sex symbol. There's a lot of male celebrities like that in Hollywood. I don't want to say names because I have my suspect list. But it's a lot. There are people out there that I'm talking about. Women adore these men, but they're in the closet, but they can't come out because it would ruin their image, and it would ruin the popularity that they have with their female fan base. You know, so unfortunately, Shannon Sharp is from that old school. But what was I gonna show? I wanted to show like one more video before I do the summary of the Shannon Sharp nonsense with him leaving ESPN and then him being currently sued by another woman for $20 million. Right. Trying to see what video I can use real quick.
Stretch out, big bands, whoa, whoa. Let
me see. What the hell?
I see so many women younger than me on this app wrestling with the fact that men are badly behaved, they're getting worse, they're misogynistic, blah, 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 they're going backwards. Blah, blah. As someone who's 109 years old, I want to tell you.
The hell? We'll do that video later. We'll do that video later. We'll do that video later. That'll be interesting. But let's stick with this one right here.
stretch out, big band.
So I'm gonna do a zoom in on this. I'm gonna do a zoom in on this. So I want you to look at the caption. It says, "Men work hard to get money to be with women. Women work hard to get money to not be with the man." Stop. Now read it again. So I want y'all to pay attention right here, because the truth is out. Right? So this is basically supposed to be a woman like a woman empowerment type of quote, but she don't realize what she just said. So right here, let's repeat it one more time. She makes the caption: "Men work hard to get money to be with women. Women work hard to get money to not be with a man." Now, everything she said here is true. These are facts, right? And what I found interesting about this is the dudes in the comment section. They were upset about this, where basically they're just like, "What? So you guys just want to be single?" And I'm like, I don't think this guy gets it. They don't want everything that women are putting themselves through, going to school, getting all this money, doing this, doing that, putting themselves through debt, trying to get flown out and all this stuff. They're doing everything that they can to avoid being with the average male. That's what they're doing. Why do you think all these people, they got like their baby fathers, they're like some interesting dubious characters. I'm like, why couldn't you just find somebody normal? They don't want normal. I've been trying to say this for the longest. They don't want normal. So right here, it says men work hard to get money to be with women. This is facts. That's just facts. Men go out their way. Men are the true romantics. When men start getting money, they they unintentionally they unintentionally help everybody else when men start making a lot of money. Because when men start making a lot of money from their business, what they do, okay, I got to start hiring some people. Okay, let me create this company for this. He just unintentionally just helped. He just unintentionally helped families just off that, just other people's families, just off doing that. Okay, I got a company. This blew up. Blah blah blah. I need to hire this. I need to hire. He just helped families, millions of families, or hundred thousands of families, just off starting a company, doing this. Blah blah blah. Women get their money. They don't invest. They don't put it back into the system. They don't really know what to do with it. They just want to hoard it, like a dragon. With you know how like dragons, the story of Fafnir, right? That's an old folklore. Not a lot of people know about this. You got these dragons, right? And the dragons, they hoard all their money, not necessarily because they're going to do something with it. They just want to hoard all the money, right? So when women get money, they don't do nothing with it. So when you see what it says, women work hard to get money to not be with the man. What they really mean by that is this: women work hard to get money so they don't have to be with an average man. That's what that means. Because trust me, that same bitch that made this thing, if an NFL player slides in the DMs, she's gonna be bragging about her having an engagement ring. If she gets engaged by the same NFL male simp, she's going to be bragging. So then by the time that same woman, she hits her mid 30s, she's going to be looking for a tall male simp to pick up the pieces. This is the stuff that we try to, this is the stuff that we're talking about. But I did find it interesting. There's a lot of dudes in there. They're just like, what? So y'all just want to be single? Yes and no, meaning they don't want the average. They don't want to be in the average situation because growing up, they looked at their mom, they looked at their aunt, and they felt like they were in a quote unquote average situation with a man that is quote unquote beneath them, and they don't ever want to be quote unquote trapped in that situation. So they're doing everything that they can, making sure they get educated, make sure they get money. Like they would rather, like these women now, they would rather live in cars. They would rather live in a car, in a Sprinter van. They literally rather be homeless than share financial responsibilities with the average man. So that's that. They just rather it be all or nothing. They don't want to be in an average situation, especially in their 20s. That's not, no, especially not in their 20s. They would rather off themselves to be in the average situation in their 20s, right? So this is what men got to understand. So when men, this is why when I, the societies that are catered around men or a patriarchy. I'm not saying that country's always going to be perfect, but you're never going to worry about, oh, there's a fertility crisis, there's a fertility shortage, oh, there's a shortage of men. You're never going to have to worry about that kind of nonsense in those countries because they understand long term Your country prospers, your island, your village prospers when it's centered around the average man. If the average man feels like he can really do something with his life, he can start a family, the middle class, the working class, the class that keeps everything together, you will have a strong class of that if you cater it around the average man. But once you start catering it around women, about what women want, this is the nonsense that you're going to get, right? So when it says women work hard to get money to not be with the man, they mean the average man. That's what they mean. Because let one of these busters or one of these people that look like they have money come around them, they folded, right? So you have this one chick. She says, or maybe I just make life decisions because I want to, and it has nothing to do with the man. Not everything I do is in the eyes of a man. She's capping. She's capping. Everything women do is centered around men. In their mind, in a woman's mind, everything that they do, it's not like them being in certain careers or chasing their careers is not because they like that career. It's just so that they're doing better than a man. That's their that's the I don't know how to say it. That's the thing. If it's perceived that I'm doing better than the average man, that I'm in a better place than the average man, that's what they aim for. That's why they do these things. This is why they put themselves through school. This is why they torture themselves. This is why they go through all that stress so they don't have to be with the average to do anything to avoid being in an average situation, especially when they're in their 20s. Especially when they're in their 20s. When you see women in their 20s talking about I want a good man, and or women in their 30s saying, "Oh, I want a regular life," and blah blah blah, that's because she already has 2 kids and she needs financial help. Then she'll take an average man. Then she'll take the electrician or the plumber, right? Somebody said, I mean, that's honestly the whole point of being an adult, right? Being able to support yourself. But like I said, everything women do, it's centered around a man, or to not be with a man that she doesn't like. She feels like everything is centered around not having to be with a man out of necessity, right? The reason why you had all these dudes, especially in the 50s, the 40s, the stuff, this is the things that the trad cons want to bring it back to, is because during that time, if you were a dude and you worked at the factory or you worked at the plant, you could still make a decent living. You still had women that wanted to be with you. As long as you were a working man, you had a shot. You had a shot of having a family. And that's all the hope that men needed. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. But during that time, what people don't understand, women, they couldn't support themselves. Or you could say they weren't allowed to, but most of these things, they couldn't do things without a man present. So a man it's not necessarily whether they wanted one, they needed one. It was a man was necessary. Once you take the necessary out, look how quick they abandoned ship, right? So these are the things that you got to keep in mind. Somebody said, so here you have a guy getting it. He said, so basically, men make money to look after others, women make money to look after themselves. Noted. Exactly. And this is what this channel is about. This is the type of game that we want to put men on. It's not necessarily to be jaded or damn, these women are horrible and all this stuff, but it's really just for men to understand this. Men make money to look after others, women make money to look after themselves, right? Somebody said, I'm here for the comments from emotional men. Like, you have women that are making fun of men for wanting to be providers, basically. Or how about this? I'll say it like this. You have women now that demonize men for wanting to be there for women for just existing. So this is why when you see stuff like this, all this stuff about, oh my God, my baby daddy's not there for me. I'm like, if you end up with a dude that really don't want to be around you, you really got to look at yourself, especially in this day and age. As a woman, where everything is in your favor, and even financially, he has to be there. It's better for him. That's why you have these things: happy wife, happy life, cheaper to keep her. It's so much financial incentive for a man that even if he's in a horrible situation with the woman, that he has to try to stay in that situation so he doesn't lose his stuff. So if you see a situation where a man breaks up with the woman or the man does not want to be around the woman, either that woman is such a terrible judge of character, like god awful judge of character, or that woman is the toxic one. There's no in between. With the laws that are in place, with the social standards that are in place, where men are shamed for not for leaving, for being a deadbeat, for being this, for being that. If a man initiates the breakup, or the man is saying, I don't want to be around this woman, it's either that woman is a god awful judge of character. I'm talking about god awful judge of character, or that woman is just that bad. And two things can be true. Two things can be true. Now let's go to Shannon Sharpe again. So forget the news about ESPN parting ways with Shannon Sharpe. Forget that. Forget that. Oh, hold on. I missed a whole bunch of comments. Oh, so Garrett Grant said, imagine paying a mid-OF check on annual NFL contract just to hide from the rainbow allegations. Unfortunately, that's what it is. He's just from that time. Shannon Sharpe is just from that time, man. People don't. I'm telling you, like, this is not like today. And even still today, we're not as progressive as, trust me, we're not as progressive as you think. All of that is for show, or all that stuff you see in Hollywood is for show. Most people are not progressive. They might be progressive in how they talk. They say we're like I said, what liberals do, they say all the right things, all the things that look nice, but the actuality is they're not as progressive as you think. There's a reason why LeBron James kids don't talk with Dwayne Wade's. Anyways. Anyways. Pyro says, Chris, did you see the woke folks are mad over white talking about jeans? Oh yeah, I saw that. That was, I don't even know why that's even a story. I don't even know why that's even a story. Shout out to OJ Desire. Unfortunately, ever since I got the warning, people have been getting their notifications at different times. Even though, like, now that I actually plan my streams 2 hours, 3 hours in advance, they be messing up with my notifications. Let me see. Yeah, exactly. So Pyro says women would rather offline themselves than be with an average dude. That's why you're seeing a lot of these OF stars. They hit 28, they hit 29, and then all of a sudden they delete. They commit self-deletion. They commit self-deletion at 28, 29. You're seeing a pattern of a lot of OF stars PORN stars, right? Prawn stars. They hit 28, they hit 29, and then up is self-deletion time, right? Even models, you're seeing like I remember this one light skin chick. No, she wasn't light skin. I think she was mixed, right? She like won Miss America or something, and she was also working in the news media department. She was about to turn 30, and she was talking about like she would write articles about the the fears of aging and all this stuff. I remember they did a story on her, and then she committed self deletion by falling off of the building. She fell off a real tall ass building. And I'm like, why would this pretty bitch do that to herself? But then they found out the articles about her talking about aging and all this stuff. People were like, oh, that's all the evidence I need. Case closed. I forgot what that girl's name was, but it was like this happened in 2022, early 2022. Long Live the King said, I think the average woman's ideal situation were to be to have both a simp provider and a Chad they can get their bag blown out with. But that's why if you see a woman in that situation, if there's a chance that they can convince the beta to be in a quote unquote open relationship, they'll pull it. So, because right now, especially right now, you have these women that they really don't want to settle. So they'll pull it. They'll ask him, or they'll start off with, "Hey, why don't we open up the relationship? I'll bring some girls to you, and I'll just only be with girls." They'll start off like that, and then eventually, that dude will allow her to be with other dudes. So this is the standard now. This is the standard. Because the average woman wants nothing to do, like they have a real hatred for men at their level. They have a real hatred for that. So they really don't want it. They really don't want it. Shout out to Long Live the King though. Shout out to Long Live the King. He said they love to OD. Yeah, they don't. When they try to self-delete, they try to do that. But anyways, it says ESPN parts ways with Shannon Sharpe following settlement of grape lawsuit. So while I was making the video for this story popped out of nowhere, right? So Shannon Sharpe is now being sued for $20 million. So he has another lawsuit on his hands. He's being sued for $20 million from this woman right here. This woman that you see. So the reason why she's suing Shannon Sharpe, which is really the media company, Shay Media, is because Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco were making jokes about how she was flirting with Usher, even though she had a marriage at home and all this stuff. And she's saying that was fake information, and now she's suing them for slander. She's basically suing Shay Media for slander. And now, once you see this is what's happening, now you see what the bigger play was. Now you're seeing what the play is. Now we're seeing what it really is. They want to destroy Shannon now. They want to destroy him. This is not even about sex. This is about slander. This is about they're trying to sue Shay Media for slander. Now, he's gonna win. He's most likely gonna win the case, but he's gonna have to drop money to fight off this case, which is gonna eventually enough people are going to attack Shay Media for whatever the reason might be until it goes broke. Now, there's a lot of people that are celebrating Shannon Sharpe's demise, but what they don't understand is the new media, the new sports media is being ran by athletes, right? You have these athletes, they have their own platforms. They don't need ESPN, they don't need FS1, they don't need NBC Sports to say their side of the story. They don't need an analyst job chair at ESPN. They can make their own money and have their own platforms. So now you see these athletes, they will go on ESPN sparingly. They will go on FS1 sparingly, basically on their own time because they already have their own platform. So these guys have the leverage now. But with Shannon Sharpe, with going through what he's going through, they're looking, the powers that may be, they send these agents out, they look through your personal history, they try to see if there's any weak points, is there any weak spots that we can exploit via the court system, via lawsuits, etc. So they are now using this woman to bankrupt Shannon Sharpe, because Shannon Sharpe, even with everything that he's going through, Shannon Sharpe has 2 channels that has over 1 million subscribers each. He's not going to be hurting. He's not going to be starving. What these the media companies, they want the talent to be dependent on them. So they're trying to use Shannon Sharpe as an example. Ocho Cinco is going to be a casualty because remember, she's suing Nightcap. She's suing Shay Shay Media. So Shannon Sharpe is going to be involved. Chad Ochocinco is going to be involved. So they're going to try to use this, in my opinion, to discourage people from having their own personal platforms while simultaneously being on TV. They're going to put it where if you go on TV, you can't have your own platform. You got to choose one or the other. This was the bigger play at hand that most people missed, even me. But that's why I was saying, don't be out there. Yes, you can say Shannon Sharpe brought it upon himself, but that doesn't mean he has the he should be getting extorted. He should be getting extorted. So we'll go over the details in a little bit of this new lawsuit from this chick. And by the way, to the people on Twitter, right, that are making fun of Shannon Sharpe for him getting fired from ESPN, him having to pay $23 million to this OF chick, and they're basically chalking it up to race because he decides to be with white because he prefers to be with white women. These gotta be the stupidest ninjas in captivity. These gotta be the dumbest dudes. These gotta be the dumbest group of people in captivity. They don't understand he's going through this because there's something bigger at play. And when Shannon Sharpe was going through what he was going through, instead of the black community rallying around him, they took this time to basically dance on his grave. Now that his platform is being attacked, now his platform is going to be sued. They don't understand now in the future that is going to be the play for certain media companies. They're going to try to control the talent by making sure you don't have your own platform. If you want to be on TV, you can't have your own platform. Or if you have your own platform, they're going to make it hard for you to have a TV show or to be on ESPN, etc. And then by that time, people realize what's going to happen. This is what they're going to say. Oh man, these media people, they be targeting black people. But when the time came to stick up for Shannon Sharpe, when the time came to stick up for him, y'all was basically celebrating him losing his money just because he prefers to be sexually intimate with white women, allegedly. Right? So I'm showing you all these tweets of dudes, girls, but specifically black dudes and black women that are basically celebrating a black man losing his money. Right? Look at these tweets. Just look at the tweets. Right? Look at the tweets. Just look at the tweets. Mostly black women too. And I'll say this for the black women saying that, oh, that's what happened when you mess with white women. I'm like, do you guys have selective amnesia with the woman that Zion Williamson is messing with? The black woman that Mariah Mills, the opposite of, I guess, Shannon Sharpe, right? With the 19-year-old white girl, OF star, the other black escort, right? That try to sue Zion Williamson for the same thing, but it didn't go through. The only difference is white women are more believable victims and they have more people in the system willing to do more for them if they cry essay, if they cry grape, especially if it's from another, if it's from a man with another race. And like I said, it still doesn't stop black women from filing, even though they don't get anything from it. So it just shows you if black women were in that same power position, they would be doing the exact same thing that white women are doing. So I don't know where this stuff is coming from. If Shannon Sharpe would have avoided the situation if he wasn't with a white girl. And I'm like, so what? He should have been with a black escort? I guess that's what it is. They're mad that his money that he's losing is not going to a black woman. I guess that's I'm like that's what people are standing on. I mean, really? Sheesh. I'm talking about men too on this nonsense. Wow, wild. just wild. Yeah, Garrett Grant said they want all of his podcast money or control over his podcast. But I think it's more than that. They want him destroyed. They want him destroyed. They want to show you. It's the same thing with the Tory Lanez. When Tory Lanez gave up the game, they destroyed him. But I'll say the music industry is more ruthless than like the sports industry, the sports network industry. So it's a little bit different with that. But yeah, they want to make an example out of Shannon Sharpe, and now they're targeting his platforms. Let me see. Trevor Bauer. Yeah. So Pyro was trying to describe a situation where a baseball player lost some money. But I'll say this, technically the black woman coming out and saying that Trevor Bauer did something to her, actually it saved Trevor Bauer unironically, because she, out of all the bitches that came out, she was the only one that got in trouble for defamation of character. Right? So technically, that black woman unironically saved Trevor Bauer's name. But the people that are saying, "Oh man, that's what happens when you play in the snow," and "Oh, this is what happened when you," I'm like, I'm still thinking about what Brittany Renner has done to multiple black men, right? What Samantha Lee is doing to Tyrese right now, the story I just showed you. Like Erica Mena, what you see Jalen Green going through with Drea, basically grooming him. And I'm like, so what's really the issue? Is it really because of skin tone, or is the beef that, okay, he's losing his money to a white woman, or would you just rather him lose his money to a black woman? So either way, he's gonna lose money. So I'm like, that's your point. He should have been with a black escort. That's your guy's point. He should have been with a black escort. No, he should have been somebody age appropriate. James Harden estate is getting sued by a 40-year-old realtor. This Oh yeah, Robin Givens, Mike Tyson. Like I don't I especially the black people that are coming in droves and literally happy about this, but specifically they're happy because oh specifically because he was messing with a white woman and a white woman put him through this. These gotta be the stupidest people on earth, easily. I'm talking about like that. Like you just need to have purposely just selective amnesia. All the black athletes that have a fake domestic violence case put on them every other literally every other week is one of these athletes getting into it with their black girlfriends or their black IG model girlfriends. It's I'm like, are you guys paying? Is literally women of all races just allowed to extort men for whatever reason, whether it be sexual, whether business was involved, whatever. So Pyro says, wait, didn't they let him go? Why would they want to wreck his channel? Can they not get into trouble for that? No. What happens is you have these companies like Disney, right? Right, because Disney runs what's it, ABC, ESPN, all these channels, right? They can't outright go after Shannon Sharpe's platform, Shay Shay Media. No, that's not. You're only gonna make him a martyr, right? So what they do, it's almost like the police. They go through your file and they see they like there are people out there that can go through your file and see who has grievances with you. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other people that wanted to sue Shay Shay Media for all types of reasons. Entities always get people trying to sue them. Companies always have people trying to sue them for all other reasons. You know, you coughed at them wrong way. Okay, I'm going to sue. But lawyers don't, obviously, they don't take every case. But if they want to make an example out of you, they try to see which one that we could use that will actually pass. Which one that we can use that can actually where it can actually they can get a result out of. And out of the people that they can use, they found this woman. Because what I'm about to read to you with this woman's case, she's gonna say, "Oh, I've been trying to get at Shay Shay Media for the longest. Why now is she able to get a file a $20 million lawsuit? Is because there are people behind her that are backing her case. But I'm pretty sure if you do the background research on the people backing her, they're going to be people connected to ESPN or Stephen A. Smith or Disney, whatever that may be. Is going to be people connected to that. Remember with the Deshaun Watson case, like that was obvious. But remember with the Deshaun Watson case where he was saying he was doing all these things with the woman, and the lawyers, the lawyer specifically, which was Tony Busby, but at the time people didn't really know who he was. But at the time, they found out that Tony Busby was representing one of the women. And ironically, Tony Busby is literally the next door neighbor of the Texans owner. It's they're a lot of the time they're doing this stuff right in front of people, but people don't care. They don't care. You got to look at the people that's representing the so-called victims. This is all planned. This is all orchestrated, right? Because I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that have had grievances with Shay Shay Media. They want to go because lawyers, they don't take every case. They don't take every case. Mariah Mills tried to file a essay case or grape case on Zion Williamson. Even Tony Busby, she said she went to Tony Busby, and Tony Busby said, "No, I'm not taking this case. This is ridiculous." That's how bogus Mariah Mills' case was. But I'll say this: if Mariah Mills was white, if she was skinny, if she was connected to some people, it would have passed. Maybe. You never know. Shout out to Garrett Grant. He said all women are like that. A lot of people don't understand. That's facts. But that's basically what they're saying in the comments. I'm like, they're basically saying that Shannon Sharpe should is he put this on himself because he decided to be with a white escort instead of a black escort. That's basically what they're saying. Is it's like the logic is wild. The logic is wild, but this is this is people. But anyways, let me read the lawsuit. Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million after the former ESPN star shamed a woman over a viral flirty video with Usher and wrongly alleged her husband left her over the incident. So this is the video in question that went viral of this woman who people said at the time had a husband. And Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharpe, they were on Nightcap making fun of the situation, making jokes, and saying that she was married and whatnot. So the basis of her lawsuit is I wasn't married and this messed up my personal life. So there, she's basically suing Shannon Sharpe of slander in civil court for $20 million, the same amount of money which he had to pay one of his one of the Gabrielle Zuniga. Oh man. So we'll look at this right here. Tillman, who is single, says the narrative was entirely false and has repeatedly tried to refute it on national media. Despite her attempts, the defendants continued posting the false claims, allegedly causing significant harm to her reputation. Sharpe recently settled. So we already know he just settled a lawsuit. ESPN parted ways with Sharpe after he was accused by Jane Doe of manipulation, which is Gabriela Zuniga. Another pending lawsuit from Michelle Evans. Oh yeah, that's the 53-year-old that was trying to say he did something to her way back when they were when Shannon Sharpe was playing, which was like 20 years ago. So right here. So this is really the key. This is the key right here. Despite the scandals, Shannon Sharpe continues to host his popular podcast Club Shay Shay and Nightcap alongside Chad Ochocinco Johnson. So that's the key. Technically, Shannon Sharpe starting those podcasts basically saved his life because without those podcasts, he really would be starving, meaning he would literally be without a job. So without this is why now they're trying the powers that may be are targeting his media platform, Shay Shay Media. Now they're trying to target, which is basically an indirect attempt to target his 2 million plus subscriber channels. And let me say this. Let me also say this. That interview with Cat Williams, I think that interview has costed Shannon Sharpe his career. Doing that interview with Cat Williams has costed him his career. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. I think doing that interview has costed him his career because people forget. Remember the stars that Shannon Sharpe had. But I'm talking about before Cat Williams. He would have Steve Harvey on there, Ricky Smiley, who else? All types of like real A-list stars. But then Cat Williams came on and basically exposed them. And what Shannon Sharpe doesn't understand is you got to be political. this is like the interview game. It's a political game too, as well. So yeah, you have those high-ranking celebrities on your thing, but there are certain people that they don't want you interviewing, and Cat Williams is definitely one of those like top 10 most wanted people in terms of you. If you interview him, friendship is over. So whatever friendship that you thought you had with Steve Harvey or one of these A-list guys that you had on your media platform, it's over. And you never know when these guys are going to collude against you. So Shannon Sharpe thought things were all good, and Cat Williams elevated his platform to another level, but there's consequences with that, because Cat Williams exposed a lot of the puppets, specifically the ones that Shannon Sharpe did interviews with. Because I don't know, people haven't really noticed. He's after that Cat Williams interview, he wasn't getting the OD like A-list type dudes. There hasn't been nobody more famous than Cat that came on, really. Outside of people in the sports world. But when we're talking about people in the entertainment world in general, because Cat Williams exposed a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that even if they wanted to do an interview with Shannon, because Cat Williams did that interview with him, they don't want to put their friends on blast, or they don't want to look like they're on the side of Cat Williams. So I really think that interview, people are saying, oh man, Cat Williams warned him about those white women and Monique warned him. Nah. This is now what I'm seeing, what's happening with Shannon Sharpe, and now that his media platforms are being targeted, that's the bigger play at hand. This was going to happen to Shannon Sharpe regardless. So I'm talking about for this lawsuit to even come to be even a thing, slander for making jokes because she decided to get serenaded by Usher, and now he's being sued for making jokes about it. This is clearly something that was going to happen regardless. Him being with that OF model who was probably an agent, that was just the gateway. That was just the gateway. That was just the gateway. Yep. Let me see. Something. I saw something here. Yes, you're going to have nothing. Because when you see the details of this, you're like, where's the case here? Right here. It says in court documents exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun, the woman, Jimalita Tillman, is suing Sharpe as well as his nightcap co-host, Chad Ochocinco, and the podcast production company, Shay Shay Media. So not only is she suing Shannon Sharpe and Ochocinco, but also Shay Shay Media. This indirectly affects Nightcap and Club Shay Shay. Right here, it says, in Tillman's complaint, she explained, on April 2nd, 2025, I participated in a fan engagement moment at a Usher Raymond concert where I interacted with the artist as a selected audience member. The interaction quickly went viral after fans noted the intensity between Tillman and Usher in the fun moment. Following this event, the defendants made and disseminated false and defamatory statements suggesting that I was married and that my husband was filing for divorce due to my participation in this audience experience. I am not married, nor am I currently going through a divorce. I was not married at the time of the fan participation moment during the Usher concert. The defendants' false narratives were shared widely across their platforms, reaching millions of followers, viral spread, and refutation efforts, despite my clear in public reputation of the false narrative. Now, this is nothing to sue nobody for. This is nothing. Because if that's the case, there have been athletes where sports journalists have just straight up made up stuff about them and they never got sued for it. I'm talking about not even once got sued for it. People thought you were married. They looked at you and somehow they thought that you was one of those married broads, because there's been a lot of people in relationships being caught flirting or be getting caught in these situations where they're flirting with the artist and they already have a man at home, right? So they thought that you was one of these people, and they was joking about that. This is not there's no case here, but all of a sudden there's a case because somebody picked it up for her. And I'm pretty sure if we do the research on the lawyers that are representing her in this case, you're gonna see, oh, I see what's happening here. So right here, but watch this. So now we're gonna see the background information on this woman. They say the woman, who is a global director for the Harold Washington Cultural Center, said she went on national media shows to refute the allegations from the ESPN First Take star that she was a married woman. Now, I wonder, how does she even get the clout to even be on national media shows to defend her name about two niggas joking on a podcast? You know? She said, "I'm watch this. This is what I'm talking about." When she's been trying to sue, she's been trying to sue Shay Shay Media for a while, but she didn't have the backing to do so. So right here, she said the defendants continue to post the defamatory content across their social media platforms. I made numerous efforts to contact the defendants to request the removal of this false narrative, but these requests were disregarded. And right here, it says the single mother added that the false statements have caused a significant harm to my character and reputation. So right here, this is where she's using semantics. So she probably wasn't married when she did that stunt with Usher, but she definitely had a guy. She had a guy in the background, and that's really what this is about. There was a guy in the background that was willing to take care of her and the other two kids that she kept. And because of that Usher situation and her getting joked on by many people in the media, including Shannon and Ocho Cinco, she lost that situation. So now she's trying to play semantics. Well, I wasn't married at the time, and she's trying to assume they tried to say that I lost my husband. She probably had a man at the time, or a man in the background, and she lost that opportunity because of the Usher situation. And now she's trying to play semantics. But somehow the powers that may be, they went through the files. They're like, who are the people trying to sue Shannon Sharpe right now? Who's on his back? Who has a case here? Okay, let's choose her. That's wild. So right here, it goes, she further argued their continued dissemination of these false statements after I publicly clarified my marital status demonstrates a reckless disregard for the truth. Tillman further alleged the ongoing misinformation has resulted in emotional distress for the plaintiff, damaged her reputation, and adversely affected her personal and professional relationships. They say we've been in communication with the legal team of Shay Shay Media, who was also representing Shannon Sharpe. They're looking to resolve this matter quickly, and we will probably have more to share upon our next conversation. So there you have it, guys. I keep trying to tell people you can't. Yeah, this is the broad suing Shannon Sharpe right now. Well, really, Shay Shay Media. But we got to see who's backing her. Who? It's interesting. They're not showing who are the lawyers. What legal team is leading this lawsuit? Because she's not doing it by herself. She ain't no lawyer. So let's do some quick research because somebody's gonna find out. Somebody's gonna find out. What's her name again? What's her name? Jamalita Tillman. Miss Tillman. Okay. They say mom of 19-year-old Dr. Tillman, Christian conservative. Okay, yep, this is the woman here. Yep, this is the same woman here. So this is her. Let's check out her page. So she has a 19-year-old daughter. Okay, director of what they just said. I forgot what they had said. Yeah, director of Harold Washington Cultural Art or Culture. Was it the Center of Culture? She's from Chicago. Interesting. Interesting. Let's do a little bit more research. Garrett Grant said it's always an Usher or a Chris Brown concert. These hoes be old. They do it to themselves. And I'm like, you do know, like they be making fun of dudes, doing things for the strippers at the strip clubs. They do this for men every single night. I'm like, well, you do know when you be doing these things with these male artists, they literally do this every single night as well when they perform. You're just oh man. Anyway, let's go back to her page. Okay. Oh man, people are roasting her in the comments. They found out who she was. They found her Instagram. Well, she's not putting her page private. Well, that's I always say that's the difference between black women and white women. It's tact. Black women have no tact. Um, we got to find out what lawyer team is pushing this. Who is she getting backed by? That's going to solve all problems. Like I brought up the Antonio Brown situation from 2019 where they refused to basically put the lawyer group or like they refuse to put who she's being backed by, and then once they try to push it to the federal court, she all of a sudden she backs out. You're just like, oh, this was that's wild. This might be a similar situation where we can't even find out who's even backing her. Let me see. Oh shoot, I gotta allow the ads on this one. Okay, so she's not apparently Jamalita, whatever her name is, she's been in the media before. She has, I'm not saying she has clout, but she has some media connections, clearly. Clearly she has media connections. So this might not just be some scrub. We got to see who she's connected to. This is very interesting. I'm gonna do like more research on this. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, so there's a video of her. So she really did go on national platforms to talk about her encounter with Usher. So let's watch that.
Were you in the front row? You never met Usher? How did it happen?
Well, in this particular instance, there's this area where you sit, and it's funny.
Were you in the front row?
So right here, let's look at the date.
Usher? How did it happen?
Well, in this particular instance, there's this area where you sit, and it's funny because they say Mr. Raymond's going to walk past here. Do not move. He's going to be just walking through.
Okay.
He wasn't even supposed to stop where we were. It was like magnetic, and he smells like vacation.
Why did he pick you?
Well, it was
Why not, Larry? Why not?
One of the young ladies was telling him I'm a retired homeschool mom and that this should be her moment, not hers. And the lady was from the UK. And he said, well, come on over here because I just finished homeschooling my daughter who finished all her studies last year.
Oh, yeah, she has a doctorate at 17.
At 17,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
ma'am. And so he brought.
Interesting. Interesting. So we do have this old video of her going on a media platform and already talking about this. So why is she still suing Shay Shay Media or having the backing to sue Shay Shay Media if she's already explained herself on a national media platform? We got to find out what lawyers are
He
backing
brought
her.
me closer and I locked in. I brought out all the Broadway magic that I had, but it was easy. He has a magnetic personality, and I'm really excited about this opportunity because now the Harold Washington is getting a lot of play. People are following things that my daughter is doing it, but with that does come some ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I first saw this on X. Somebody shared the video and said the description of the video was that
Like I said, it's interesting because they don't allow anybody to just go on these sets and talk. So clearly she's plugged with somebody.
this woman, her husband divorced her because of her connection with Usher and everything else. So that's just completely not true.
That is
Just to get that out there because a lot of people are seeing this video in that context.
Completely false. I am single. I am a retired homeschool mom looking to expand the arts here and across the pond. I am single. You got a cherry? Give me a jingle. Who knows?
She's got
Yeah.
Jerry
Okay, so she's already explained herself. So I don't know why she's specifically targeted Shay Shay Media without, like, you don't do stuff like that without any backing. So technically, this is old news in terms of her explaining herself. So why? So now I'm looking at these articles. You got Vibe.com saying that the woman was married. You had Hot 97 and all these why Complex saying that she was married. Why not target them? But you targeted Shay Shay Media. This is what you call a hit. This is what you talk about a hit job. Wow. But like I said, we already know what was it with that situation. We already know what was with that situation. There was a dude in the background. He didn't like that video, and he left. Let me see. Okay. Woman denies divorcing her husband after viral Usher moment. So this article was from April 8th, 2025. And when she's doing the interview, it doesn't really look like those rumors were really negatively affecting her. It seems like most people were praising her for an older woman getting her freak on with with Usher. So this is quite interesting. We got, you know, hold on for a sec. We go. I'm nah. We gonna find out. Suing Shannon Sharpe. Okay, so even the Shade Room has reported on this. Ooh, posts on X. Let's got Twitter. We got Twitter right now. Huh. Let me search her up right here. Jamalita. We're gonna search her up on Twitter to see if she's trending, if she's picking up some steam. Shannon Sharpe faces $20 million lawsuit. Okay, I don't see a whole bunch of comments. I'll say this, that's a bit interesting. I don't see a whole lot of comments about this. That's a bit interesting. Okay, Raindrops Media. Let's see what they say about this. Yep. Finally, people are starting to understand. Now people are starting to see, okay, somebody's after him. Yep. Finally, some ninjas with sense. Jesus Christ. I was getting worried for a minute. I was getting worried for a little bit. But like I said, it's too late because ninjas already fell for it. They fell for it. They put that, the white woman suing him and getting his money. They used that as, okay, let's use that so he can get a little bit defamed. And now they're going to just be, now they're just going to keep, now that was the gateway to target his platform. He said so right here, Roy Harris said he got somebody after him and they have a lot of money. When you start seeing women after women, someone is pulling these strings. That's what the normies don't see this for some weird reason. I don't know what it is. Oh, they're saying Shaq. Because I remember that Shaq did openly say, I'm looking for dirt on Shannon Sharpe. Well, he didn't openly say it, but Matt Barnes basically snitched on Shaq. And I even said this on his channel. I said, if Shaq is behind this nonsense, the nonsense that Shannon Sharpe is going through right now, if Shaq is behind all of this, I don't want to hear nothing about white supremacy and all this stuff. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. He says, happens to every black man that tries to be independent, either this or mysterious drug overdose. Plausible. He said, or maybe people just want money from him. Well, two things can be true. Yep. Somebody said, you're the only smart person in this comments because everyone's blaming this random lady is as if she has the power to do this by herself. This is blackball season for him. Yep. Somebody says Shannon Sharpe was this close to being on Joe Rogan's level, and the small hat Democrat said, not so fast, N-word. Low-key, I agree with this comment. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a like. Low-key, I agree with this comment. Yep. You see, right here. People with sense. Marginalizing, instigating, and antagonizing others against blacks, especially black men. It's the small hats as usual, and he was dumb enough to settle a case he could have easily won. Let others know you will settle frivolous lawsuit with them too. Exactly. And like I said, he settled that lawsuit because he's afraid of being called gay. That's really what it is. That's why he settled that lawsuit, because more details was going to come out. And then Corey Holcomb was going to was going to start making fun of him, and he didn't want that. This is why Corey be trying to tell people you got to come out that closet, because now people are going to use that against you because people know that you're hiding something. and people are going to use that to exploit you. Somebody said it's either Shaq or that Busby lawyer. Not necessarily because Busby lawyer, but it might be somebody connected to him. Somebody said, yeah, he pissed off the wrong person. It's clear. Oh, somebody said it could be Brett Favre. It could be Brett Favre could be. It's plausible. It's plausible. It's plausible. Somebody said it's Skip Bayless' revenge. I don't know about that. Some people, but a lot of people are in the comments. They're saying it's Shaq. Shaq is behind this. Somebody said, "Oh, they want this nigga gone." I don't know why they're talking about sex. This lawsuit isn't about sex. This lawsuit is literally it's about these. So yeah, it's a lot of people they can't read. A lot of people can't read. Yep. So everyone's just trying to eat off Shannon. Man hustled day and night talking until he finally got his big payday. Then out of nowhere, the vultures are about to take everything. But what people don't understand, it's not just that. Of course, if you're a person in general, you get a lot of money. There's going to be a lot of people trying to take that money off you. But lawyers don't take every single lawsuit. So when you see stuff like this where it seems like, damn, another bitch is coming out, another bitch is coming out, that's something orchestrated. Somebody said this is ridiculously unreasonable. Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Somebody said then he should sue everyone who ever said something about him. That's what I was about. I'll say this though. Low key, the power move is this for Shannon Sharpe. What he needs to do is come out the closet or do like I've seen men that even like the men that they're straight. I've seen straight men do this. They'll say, I changed my gender to a woman and I'm gonna do this. And they got away with it. Even if you're straight, that might be the move. So what Shannon Sharpe should do, he needs to come out the closet, even if it's not true. Just come out the closet, claim your rainbow community, and countersue everybody else for not necessarily for defamation, but of bullying. And you can literally recoup all that money back. He said LMAO, so MFers can just claim anything. So somebody says Shannon, women really can be the downfall of a powerful man, but clearly this guy didn't read the information. Sex is not involved here. And even then, it's not necessarily the woman, it's the woman being backed. Who's taking these cases? Not every woman can get their case across. There's a lot of crazy bitches out there that target certain celebrities, and and the celebrity never even touched them in their life, but they'll still want to drop a lawsuit. It's just a matter of which law firm is going to take the case. And depending on who it is, depending on what kind of money is involved, that's the only way a case can come forward. Exactly. So right here, Dr. Boyce Watkins, a person that I don't really like, but I got to give him props for this. Oh, so Dr. Boyce Watkins might have some insight. Thankfully, I didn't disregard this because we all know Dr. Boyce Watkins is a simp. But I'll entertain this. So right here, Dr. Boyce Watkins says this is a BS lawsuit, but since Shannon is issuing big payouts, He is now going to be a target of a ton of lawsuits like this. He says, I know the lady he's talking about, and I've worked with her. It was interesting. Now, Dr. Boyce Watkins, do you want to reveal the people behind her? Do you want to reveal the people that she's working with? You gotta spill the tea on this. You gotta spill the tea on this. Sorry, I just like the tweet that I just sped read. Okay. Because I'm like, if that's the game that we're playing, where you can just sue somebody for slander because they spread something that was false, which low-key I've been advocating a lot of athletes to do to media companies for over 10 years now, but that's a whole other story. Shannon Sharpe could really flip it on his head, come out the closet, sue everybody for blackmail and bullying, and he would literally recoup all that money he lost. It would even be close. Yep, crab in a barrel mentality. That's what's happening right now. But yes, small hats are involved with this. This is why Tony Busby took this case with the white bitch, because he knew public opinion would still be on his side, even though if it's fake or false. She has intimate details on Shannon. She's white. She's young. Right when we're talking about the Gabrielle Zuniga girl, he knows black people are going to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. White white people, older white dudes in power are going to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker, and try to drop a hammer on Shannon. They use all of that in conjunction so they can get what they want. They understand the dynamics at play. Yep. He said, and people is so right here. You see this comment. It says, and people are going to celebrate this too. LOL. Prayers to that man. Shit is sick. You know, it's a cold world. That's all I can really say. That's all I can say about this too, really. If you want to sum it up, is this tweet right here. People going to celebrate this. That's what I was about to say. I'm like, is she going to sue all the other blogs too for spreading that quote unquote rumor? Why are you specifically targeting Shay Media? He said, damn, these people are sharks. But this is how America runs their things. Like, you see how the way these frivolous lawsuits can just happen and people can just try to get rich off people like that. This is why in other countries they run their justice or legal system a certain way. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you can't pull that kind of stuff in other countries. Yeah, this is another dude laughing at his situation. Snow Bunny now says, oh yeah, I'll say this. That kind of puts to rest. Doesn't this kind of, how about this? Doesn't that kind of put to rest about, oh, he should have been dating a white woman. Here's a older black woman he's not dating, and he's getting sued by. Doesn't that? How about this? This might be beautiful. Maybe there's a silver lining to this. I didn't even think about this until now. So all these people were mad at Shannon Sharpe because he was getting sued from a white woman a young white woman he was sleeping with. Now he is being sued by an older black woman that he never even slept with. The woman is just suing him for his money, just for slander. So that basically puts to rest this whole, oh, you should have been with a black woman. He's getting sued. He's getting sued. He's getting targeted. It don't matter. He was getting sued regardless. This is a hit job. This is a hit job. Not a hijab. This is a hit job. Here he is. Somebody said it best. A snow bunny, now a sister. So that basically puts to rest this whole, oh, this is what happened when you messing with these white women. He's being sued. He got sued by a white bitch and now a older black woman. This is the type of black woman that they would recommend that Shannon Sharpe dates, and he's getting sued by this woman, and his sex is not even involved. sex is not even involved. Sex is not even involved. This is wild. So that puts to rest all of that nonsense. That puts to rest all. So say if somebody read this wrong. Say if it I should be back. I should be back. So the powers that may be. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Press 1 in the chat if I'm back. Press 1 in the chat if I am back. Yo, I spoke too much. I spoke too much. Yo, I spoke too much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm back. I spoke too much. I spoke too much. Dude, what is going on? Something happened where I'm at, which I'm talking about. This has only happened one other time. This has happened only one other time. And that one other time was when I first came on AJ's platform for the first time, where the Wi-Fi just basically just everything just shut down and it just I'm like, yo, what's happening? This has happened only one other time with that. I'm talking about on StreamYard. I'm talking about specifically on StreamYard. OBS is another story, but this is the first time this has happened on this specific channel though. That's wild. I've spoken too much. I've said too much. I've said too much, man. I've said too much. No, the power is fine. The power is fine at my end. Everything just went like I saw there was like a flash that happened. And I'm like, whoa, what just happened? There's no storm happening where I'm at right now. Yo, and I'm like I said, I'm on StreamYard. I'm not on OBS. This is not the old. This is like what Pyro just experienced right now. This used to happen on the daily when I was on OBS, with my old rinky dinky Mac laptop, right? When I was doing those live streams, then this has never happened on StreamYard before, and on this brand new PC / all that I got, this has never happened. This is This is nah. This is wild. Just off of reading these tweets. So all that, like I said, all that talk. I hope people. All that talk about, oh, he should have stayed with a white woman. This look what this white woman's done. Look, you see what happens when you mess with this white woman. You got an older black woman suing him for whatever. I don't care what the reason is. She's suing him, which comes to my point. You have women just allowed to extort men for whatever the reason that may be. That's it. That's it. Pyro said, I did this on YouTube talking about incels and the stream crashed twice. Let me check my YouTube channel real quick. Because I even lost connection on my phone. Okay, so we're good on. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm trying to look at the minute mark where everything crashed. So I'm trying to, so around that minute mark. Yo, that's wild. That's wild. That's wild. There's literally there are, I'll say this, there are certain things on this UBTube you cannot talk about. It's just there's certain things you cannot talk about. Clearly, there are powers that may be that are after Shay Shay. Like I said, the next I don't know why people don't do this. It's really the cheat code. Remember that man that went viral? He changed his gender, even though he wasn't gay. He changed his gender so he can get custody of his kids. Look, y'all, I'll say these, y'all dudes got to stop. Y'all got to not be afraid of being called gay. You really gotta not care. That's why, like, I'll say this, people, I tell people don't fight for their kids, but if you're gonna do it like that, I'm all for it. That's really a dude that's really trying to be in his kid's life. He's willing to change his gender to beat the system. He's willing to fight fire with fire and really do all that nonsense that these like, the dads do here in America, and they try to work with the system. Nah, that's not how you do it. How bad do you want to be with your kids? Somebody said, "Oh, girl, bye." Facts. Yep, sharks smell blood in the water. He said they're trying to rinse this ninja. Yep. Instagram fans, OnlyFans, Usher fans, it don't matter. Bankruptcy's been filed. That's funny. Yep. So right here. Brother can't catch a break. So this guy is still talking about Shannon Sharpe being with a white girl, and right now he's being sued by an older black woman, and he's still talking about him having sex with that white girl. What is wrong? Oh my goodness. Somebody said I never knew 21 was a teenager. Oh Lord. Yeah, clearly he pissed off somebody. He pissed off anybody with some kind of a common sense knows this. And I'll say this to, the Jewish lawyers that are always behind these cases. You guys will rot in hell for this stuff, specifically the way you guys target particularly how Jewish men target black men, because they know they're easy targets for lawsuits, particularly sexual lawsuits. You guys will pay for that. I don't know how, but you guys will pay for that, because the stuff that they've been doing, breaking up families in the family court system, suing men that literally came from nothing. So I'm like literally suing people that literally had to work from the ground up. People that already had all types of obstacles put in their life just to get to where they at. Just for a small hat to take away, to incentivize people to go after you using sex. You know what I mean? For the most part, it's wild work. And even when sex isn't involved, look what you're doing. Sex isn't even involved with this case, and look what they're doing. They want to, exactly. Somebody said them boys got him. They want him out of the picture. Yep. 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 Somebody says Shannon Sharpe's interview with Cat Williams is officially the most watched interview in YouTube history. It has garnered over 68 million views in 4 months. This is why. I think like that Cat Williams interview, it low key ruined him. I'm talking about in the long term. This is why there's certain people that they don't want to invite to their platforms. Somebody said Cat Williams told him to watch out. Somebody said, "What did he do to Shaq?" He must have, like, I'll say this: if Shaq is behind all of this, I mean, damn, like I'm about to say, what did Shannon did Shannon Sharpe smash Shawnee or something? But behind Shaq's back, there's no reason. But like I said, Matt Barnes, he let it slip. Matt Barnes let it slip that Shaq basically put a bounty on Shannon Sharpe's head for dirt. If anybody that got dirt on Shannon, he put a bounty on his head for that. Somebody said funded operation. So let's look at more since we got some time. So yeah, Raindrops Media, your Lipstick Alley. Oh, we got okay, so we'll read the paperwork at another time. Oh, let me download this. Wait, hold on. Let me open this in a different. Okay. All right. This is not a virus. This is from Google Drive. I got the paperwork. Okay. 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 Let me see if I have. Could I? Let me see. Hereby remove the district court for the Northern District Eastern Division. Tillman versus Shannon Sharpe et al. Dude, okay, shouldn't it mention the legal team? So it's just her? Get the F out of here. It ain't just her. Please. We got to, who is she being represented by? Get the F out of here. They trying to act like it's just Jamalee to tell, it's just hers. Please. Okay, they say that she served Mr. Sharpe on either June 27th or June 29th. So this was something in the works since April 24th, they're saying. So this ain't this around the same. This is all, yeah, this is clearly all orchestrated. This is literally around the same time when the OnlyFans bish was giving him problems. And this is literally around that same time. First of all, that's actually around the same time when it was announced nationally that Shannon Sharpe was closing in on a $100 million deal. So this was clearly, yeah, he pissed off. So he pissed off somebody. Okay, so what they're saying on either June 27th or June 29, 2025, plaintiff alleges that she served Mr. Sharpe. To date, plaintiff is not represented by counsel and appears pro se. To the best of Shay Shay Media LLC's knowledge, it has not been served in this matter. Moreover, in the state court record, there is no affidavit of service on Shay Shay Media. Huh? Okay. She's serving. Okay, it's just she couldn't. I don't know. Maybe she couldn't find a way to serve Shay Shay Media, but that clearly was the target. So why is the Shay Shay Media still being labeled in a lawsuit if they couldn't even find a way to serve Shay Shay Media? Well, that's because Shay Shay Media is not a person that they can just track down. Anyways, as noted above, to the best of his knowledge, Shay Shay Media LLC has not yet been served. I don't know why they're making it a point to really. Oh, they want the. So I guess. Oh, they trying to. Are they trying to get him R. Kelly style? They want the rights to Shay Shay Media. I guess the powers that may be, they want the rights to Shay Shay Media. Okay. Removal is appropriate. A removal deadline. So the video, I guess. Yeah, they're just, yeah, this is weird. You guys got to see this paperwork. You got to see this paperwork. They're like they have this weird thing where they're trying to go after the Shay Shay Media LLC. I think, yeah, it's that Cat Williams interview, bro. That thing messed them up. Because what happened is, I think once they're able to gain access to Shay Shay Media, Who knows if they gain access to Shay Shay Media, they're gonna start deleting some videos. Because this whole thing, when they're talking about slander, well, now they're gonna do, because now, okay, I see what they're doing. Because if they can get that video removed when she's talking about slander about her marriage or her alleged situation with Usher, then they're gonna target the Cat Williams video next. Remember, it's the most watched interview on YouTube. See, like they're going into like, if you can, I don't know if I can zoom in, but they're like going in. Like they say that Shay Shay Media hasn't been served, yet they're talking the whole lawsuit is about Shay Shay Media LLC. And what the Shay Shay Media is, and what it is, and what it does, and how liable or what liability it has. They say in the beginning only Sharpe has been served, yet the whole lawsuit is about Shay Shay Media. What in the F? Yo, this is, yo. I hope black people are seeing this. I hope black people are seeing this. This ain't about no white bitch. That was just the gateway. That was just the gateway. This is the bigger power play at hand. They want the rights. I don't know why I don't know why certain people want the rights to Shay Shay Media. This is more than about just a video removal. They're trying to put the information of Shay Shay Media out there. This is weird. So right here, they're putting all the business out there. Shay Shay Media LLC is a limited liability company whose sole member is Mr. Sharpe. According for diversity purposes, Shay Shay Media LLC is also a citizen of Nevada. Why the fuck do we need to know this? While not relevant for diversity purpose, Shay Shay Media LLC is also a Delaware limited liability company, which does not maintain a principal place of business. Over a YouTube video? They're like, where is Shay Shay Media LLC? Where is it? Where is it? Nigga, it's just something that he just put so he can put his two channels under that basically under that brand, Shay Shay Media. It's just a brand. It's nothing like powerful, but since his podcast Nightcap and Club Shay Shay is under that brand, that's what they're targeting. What, yo, them small hats are. I see why they got ran out of all these countries. Holy, these people are selfish. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, man. What we gonna see next in this lawsuit? Shay Shay Media LLC was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Oh man. According to the small hats, Shay Shay Media was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Oh man. What in the hell is this, bro? They trying to track down Shay Shay Media LLC like it's some kind of business. It's just it's just a brand. All procedural prerequisites have been satisfied to say removal is timely as the Sharpe defendants filed this notice of removal within 30 days after any alleged service. Removal of what? That specific video? Or what? Like just in general? Removal of all slander. This is ridiculous. Okay. Respectfully submitted, Shannon Sharpe and Shay Shay Media LLC defendants. Okay, Jules. Okay, we got the information. We got the information. Jules A. Levinson. That's the lawyer's name. Jules A. Levinson. It said, what's it? Seyfarth. Let me see. Yes, Seyfarth Shaw LLP. Oh, they got their address there too and everything. Okay. Let's see. Allow all. Good God Almighty! Look at this ugly motherfucker right here, boy. Golly. Oi. We got to find out who he's connected to, or that establishment in and of itself. See. Media defendants, or is that let me see, Chicago Michael F. Pro has forthcoming Safe Shaw LLP. The defendants. Let me see something here. Whose lawyer? Oh wait, hopefully I'm not getting it wrong. Is that Shannon Sharpe's lawyer or is that her lawyer? I don't get it. Somebody got to help me in the comments. Is that, according to this lawsuit, they're saying respectfully submitted Shannon Sharpe and Shay Shay Media LLC defendants by Jules A. Levinson, one of their attorneys. So is that Shannon Sharpe's lawyer? Or what's going on here? Oh, it's about to say right here. It says, I, Jules A. Levinson, an attorney, certified that on July 25th, 2025, I caused to be electronically filed the foregoing document with the clerk of the court using the approved electronic filing system, and also blah, 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 a copy to plaintiff who appears pro se at the contact information. Oh, she's the attorney. Okay, Jules A., the attorney for the defendant. Hold on for a sec. Individual. Okay, it looks like, sorry, I got that wrong. So he's Shannon's lawyer. He's Shannon's lawyer. So they're really trying to sell this whole thing that she's doing this by herself. That's basically what they're really trying to sell this thing that she's doing this by herself. Which I refuse to believe that. Yep. Because I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, so they're still trying to sell that she's doing it by herself. So that I was wrong about that. So that lawyer right here, he's representing Shannon. Still ugly than a motherfucker, but I'm just saying. He's representing Shannon. But also what people got to understand when it comes to these lawyers, yeah, they represent you, but that doesn't really mean you're on their side, because from what I'm reading, Jose Levinson, he's from Chicago also himself. He's also from Chicago. That's why I thought Jumalita was being represented by him. They're both from Chicago. So yeah, he got her as Shannon Sharpe is being represented by these people, but you never know if there's a connection there between Jumalita and Jose Levinson. They're both from Chicago. You never know if there's a connection there. Okay, exhibit 1. Oh, there's no way. I'm looking at the handwriting. There's no way she's she's doing this by herself. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Absolutely no way. She is not doing this by herself. I refuse to believe it. And this bitch on government benefits. What? You guys got to look at this paperwork. You guys got to look at this paperwork. She on government benefits. Where's she even getting the money to sue this man for $20 million? How's this even possible? Look at this. Basic information. This is the paperwork. This is the paperwork she had to fill out. Your name, Jamalita Tillman. Her address. This is her address. Check all the benefits that you currently receive. Be prepared to provide proof that you currently receive at least one or of one of the checked benefits. So she's on SNAP. She on food stamps. She got food stamps. She on food stamps. So where's she getting the backing to sue this ninja? Where is she getting the backing, bro? Okay, and then what they say? She got no. What now? She trying to say that she got no income coming in. So where's this stuff coming from? Where's she even get? How is she even appearing pro se? I know she's representing herself, but still, how is this possible? So this is literally her information right here. Let's see. I might have to. I'm sorry to put her business out here, but I'm gonna have to look up her address. This is crazy work. Say 4321 South King Drive. Chicago, Illinois. I'm not going to show you the location. Let me see. This is very interesting. She's on food stamps, but she lives here. I can't show you obviously the property because I looked up the address real quick. I looked up the address. I'm not saying she's rich, but I'm looking at where they're saying where she lives at. But they say she on food stamps. Sorry. Currently, right now, I am on Google Maps surveying the area. Surveying the area on Google Maps. I don't know about this. This is a scam. She's being backed by somebody. Somebody's helping her out. Somebody's helping her out. Somebody's definitely helping her out. Okay, realtor.com. I'm going to look at the neighborhood. I'm looking at the neighborhood income right now as we speak. I can't show you guys this. condo, estimated value. Because on like when you go on these realtor sites, they tell you like if this is a good neighborhood, the property, the the um the value of the property. If this is a Yeah, it looks like this is a great neighborhood. Not great. I'm not saying great neighborhood, but this is a good neighborhood. You need some money to live here. It look well. I don't know. Okay, nearby schools, elementary, middle, high. Huh. Environmental risk. That's what I'm looking for. Home improvements. Okay. Okay. I'll take their word for it. But anyways, back to the lawsuit. I don't even know how. I don't know how this is even a thing. Because at the end of the day, Shannon Sharpe, he's gonna have to pay money for this to go away. Even if it's innocent, he still has to pay money to these lawyers to make sure this stuff goes away. Nah, I refuse to believe this whole thing where she's appearing by herself in court. Yeah, so every time she wrote the name, she always made sure to write Shay Shay Media right next to it. I'm gonna look more into this. I'm gonna look more into this. But this is a shame. This is a shame. It's not just Shannon Sharpe. It's also Chad Ochocinco. But anyways, why are you verbally doxing her? Hey man, I'll say this: T app. The gloves are off since the T app. I'll say this: the gloves are off since the T app. Gloves are off. Ooh, facts. Garrett Grant said it. You said it best. He said Cat Williams made them tell on themselves. Yep. Because like, I want you to see like the celebrities that he had before. I'm trying to let me give you a visual because I've noticed this. Man, this is some powerful stuff here. Let me exit out of this. I'm gonna have to save this to my drive. Wait, let me just download it for safe. Oh, hold on. I can't let you guys see that. I can't let you guys see that. Hold on for a sec. Let me download this for safekeeping. Okay, I got that downloaded, and then I'm going to save this to my Google Drive. Put this to my drive. Yeah. Yep. All right, this is good. This is good. This is good. Now we got this all saved up. We got the paperwork saved up. Let me now open up YouTube. Sorry, and by the way, sorry for the stray bullet, say Farth. But golly, they could have picked a bit better picture for you, brother. Golly. Anyways, let's go on YouTube. Let's go on YouTube. Oh man, by the way, I'm so mad because I haven't been able to go to a Yankees game due to business purposes, due to me being busy. But I really wanted to see Rays versus the Yankees. Anyways, what can I put on here? Club Shay Shay. I want let's see. I want people to see this. I'm going to scroll all the way to last year, if that's possible. If that is possible, I'm going to scroll all the way to last year. Okay. Oh, man, this is going to take a while. Oh, crap. This is going to take a while. I'm not going to hold you. Let's see. I will say this. I was shocked that what's it, that Kamala Harris interview. I was shocked about that. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Never mind. Let me not even because they post all the clips on his show. He didn't make a separate like clips channel. Let me do from oldest. Maybe that might be better. Nah, that's not gonna be better if I do it by oldest. Oh man. But anyway, in terms of the comics that he had on the show, it was interesting. He had like the level it was going, like he still gets celebrities, don't get me wrong, but it was but the way it was going, I'm like, very soon he's probably gonna have Obama on the Club Shay Shay Media very soon, right? Or it's interesting, like Kevin Hart. Did Kevin Hart go on Club Shay Shay? Because I know after let me see. Yeah, I'll say this after that interview with Kat, he's never coming on Club Shay Shay. He's never doing it. Even though it makes the most sense. You would think it makes the most sense, but he's never coming on. Because like basically at that point when I see Steve Harvey, you start to see these Cedric the Entertainer, you start to see these people coming on like, oh, Kevin Hart's next. Then maybe LeBron, then maybe even Obama, and one of these people. Oh yeah, then I remember he had. I would have sworn Shannon Sharpe had Tyler Perry on. I would have sworn he had him on. Or was it maybe it was the people connected? Maybe it was the people connected. But I'll say this, yeah, that Cat Williams interview opened up a can of worms. They snitched on themselves. The people, they snitched on themselves. But anyways, I digress. It's too like, but like I said, it's gonna be too late now because now the playbook is very clear. They're gonna try to target his platform, and other people are going to do suit. Sorry, they're going to follow suit. Other people are going to follow suit. They're just going to try to sue him for. They're going to sue Shay Shay Media. Excuse me. Interesting. But yeah, that's it. I went way over time. Low key, I did. Oh man. I don't know why I did that. I hit the wrong thing. But anyways. That was weird. What happened midstream? That was very weird. That whole thing where they're saying she's just representing herself. Nah, I do not buy it. I do not buy it for one bit. I do not buy it. I don't buy it. But anyway, shout out to you guys. Thank you for watching this one. I will drop. You're gonna see the video I'm gonna drop tomorrow. It's gonna say Shannon Sharpe gets fired from ESPN. It's gonna say something similar to that. But at the end, it's gonna be me basically exposing. I'm gonna say, watch, somebody's gonna sue Shannon Sharpe next. They're gonna start suing his media platform because they can't destroy him. In fact, let me show you a snippet of that. Let me show you a snippet just to show you guys I'm not making this stuff up. I'm gonna show you a snippet of the video. I'm gonna show you a snippet of the video just to show I'm not. I swear I'm not making this up. Watch this. Watch this real quick. So right here, I'm showing you a snippet of. I'm showing you a snippet of the video that I'm going to release tomorrow. And I'm going to show you what I said at the end. Watch this. Oh my God, they're talking. I'm like, what do you think what this whole thing was about the whole time? But you guys are worried about, oh, it was a white bitch, so he deserved it. No, you don't see the freaking bigger picture, the big picture behind this. With the Bill Cosby thing, black male comedians, they drop pocket. It's gonna be. But I'll say this: the only thing that can save Shannon Sharpe, especially right now, because now people are gonna. So I made this clip like right before I saw the news on this woman suing him for $20 million. Let me see if I can find that part when I start talking about people targeting his platform. So I see a lot of these comments basically this. It says 57-year-old Shannon Sharpe ruined his own career by being overly horny for a mid 23-year-old white girl. I actually don't hate to see it. I actually love to see it. So they're happy that he's losing money because of his sexual preference. You know. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. But I'll say this: the only thing that can save Shannon Sharpe, especially right now, because now people are going to look at him as an open target for lawsuits. Now I'm pretty sure you're going to see another. Oh, I think this is right here. This is right here when I start talking about it. And even like I already said, even in that video, I said, and you're going to see this video tomorrow. I said this, where he's an open target for lawsuits now since he's settling. Remember with Diddy, when he gave her that $30 million, everybody's like, oh, I want some money too. I think the only thing that can save Shannon Sharpe, especially right now, because now people are going to look at him as an open target for lawsuits. Now I'm pretty sure you're going to see another lawsuit. Like you're going to see another lawsuit. Even though he has no, I'm not saying he has no money, but he still has his podcast. But you're going to see people targeting his podcast because he's still like Shannon Sharpe. He's still going to do numbers on YouTube. So what people are going to do next. What people are going to do next, they're going to target his podcast on YouTube. And they're going to say, oh, it's going to be some bitch or somebody going to be like, oh, he slandered my name on his podcast. It's going to be the powers that may be are now going to target Shannon Sharpe because he's not going to be starving because he still has his YouTube. I said this at 6 o'clock. Like it was like around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I had made this video, and then I literally get a notification: Shannon Sharpe getting sued again. It's just like, for what? Slander. You can't make this stuff up. So they're going to target his platform next. They're going to somehow get rid. They're going to somehow find it where they're targeting his platform. That's what they're gonna do next. And then you're gonna see black people. Oh my God, they're targeting. I'm like, what do you think what this whole thing was about the whole time? But you guys are worried about, oh, it was a white bitch, so he deserved it. No, you don't see the freaking bigger picture, the big picture behind this. With the Bill Cosby thing, black male comedians, they dropped the ball. They didn't understand the bigger picture. They didn't understand the bigger picture, including Corey Holcomb, respectfully. So you got. I meant no shots at Corey Holcomb there. Corey Holcomb's the GOAT. But he dropped the ball there too with the Bill Cosby situation. You know, basically all black male comedians that felt a certain type of way about Bill Cosby, they dropped the ball. Like this is way bigger than what you think. I'm telling you, it's gonna be people targeting his platform next. So what that is going to do is going to set a precedent. So where you have dudes, they'll go on. You see how like now you have these former athletes that have their own podcast, they have their own platform. They'll work for ESPN or Fox, but they'll work for him sparingly because they don't really need their income per se to survive. So they'll go on those platforms sparingly. But what that is going to do is going to set a precedent where now, oh, if you work for these companies, you can't have your own platform. Like they don't understand the, the normies don't ever understand the bigger picture. And I'll say there's black people in general that are celebrating Shannon Sharpe losing money, which is wild, just because of his sexual preference. I don't want them to be talking about, oh, they targeted a black man when they start targeting his platform, because that's literally the only thing that's saving his life. But now I'm telling you, the powers that may be, they're going to target his platform next. You're going to see mad people come out with frivolous. It's not going to have to do nothing about sexual assault. It's going to be talking about, oh, he slandered me. It's going to be random bitches or random people talking about, oh, he slandered me on his podcast. I said this at 6 o'clock and I get a notification. Crazy work. So you're going to see this video tomorrow. Crazy work. Horrendous work. Oh man. Wild work. Pyro says, by the way, these people are okay with men bending over another man. That's a-okay for them to they support you. I think that's the next move. Shannon Sharpe, you need to just come out the closet. You'd be like, these people have been extorting me. Because I move a certain way. I was worried for my mental health. This is a hate crime. This is bullying. I want 250,000. Nah. Like Ezel said in Friday. Oh, my neck and my back. I want 150,000. But we can settle in court now for 20. Yo, Shannon need to pull that. Play the game. Who cares if they call you gay, bro? Who cares? Pull it. Hey, I'm going through a transition myself. I feel like a woman. They've been trying to extort me. I'm going to sue you now for bullying and hate crime. Who's to say you can't do that? If this is the game, if this is what we doing, we can do that. Let's pull it. Let's pull it. I will, and I'll say this: like Shannon Sharpe coming out the closet wouldn't change how I think about him, in my opinion. That wouldn't change anything. For me, it wouldn't. I'll say, like, even remember, like Will Smith, if he comes out the closet, I will literally be happy for him, because clearly he's in a situation where he's being abused, right? I'm telling you, that's what Shannon needs to do. That he needs to pull it and be like, and these people have been doing this to me for a long time. This is why I think it would make sense. It would make sense. But unfortunately, Shannon Sharpe, he's too prideful. He's too prideful to come out the closet. And people are going to use that against him. So he needs to understand that people are dirty. People are dirty. People are dirty. People are not, this whole thing about people being liberal, they're not progressive. They're capping. They're capping. And the people that you think are conservative, you'd be surprised how liberal they are. It's a strange world. It's a strange world. People, they just be talking. I'm thinking. Look, remember when I talked about the transformer that I'm working with on the music thing? I would have thought that people was already working with him. He was dead serious. I'm like, oh, nobody was working with you? Damn. And I'm thinking I'm around all these hipsters, around these liberal people. They don't want to be around. They be mad at me for calling the rainbow people weirdos, but they don't want to be around them either. It's wild. It's wild. People are full of ka. I don't want people to talk about. I don't want to hear people talking about Corey Holcomb. I don't want to hear people talking about the why are you gay guy from the interview. If they call it shit, you call it feces behind your back, like Pyro would say, right? That you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. All these hipsters I'm around, nobody wanted to work with Broski. Wild. And I'm gonna say this: I'm a bit uncomfortable, but I've always said up front. I've said this up front. I'll be like, look, that's not my type of people. I've said this out loud. So I've had to overcome that part of me to help somebody out that I feel like that I feel is good-hearted in nature. Right? Yet people gonna put labels on me. People gonna say I was mean, and people this, but nobody wanted to work with him. Or nobody, I'm not gonna say wanted, or I'll just say nobody worked with him in public. In public. It's wild. It's wild. But anyways, nobody as progressive as they making it in real life. At least I'm honest to be like, I'm not really that progressive. But anyways, I can't believe how all of this is all coming together. I can't believe how this wasn't even really supposed to relate or match. But it's crazy how all of this is coming together. But anyways, shout out to you guys. What video will I end this off with? What video would I end this off with? Let me end it off with Haha Davis. Right after the Semper video. Right after the Semper video. Let me end, but I'm gonna end it with Haha Davis. I'm definitely gonna end it with Haha Davis. But right after the Semper video. Shout out to you guys. Peace out.
I want to let every homosexual out there know that we are setting up rehabilitation center. Those whose rectums have been ruptured.
Can we use more sober language? People are having breakfast.
I'm sorry, those whose behinds has been ruptured.
And I'm on hard. Guard.
On hard.
Guard.
On hard. Get naked before I come over there and take it.
Bro, what is wrong with you?
Wrong. That's the sound of me all up in your ass.
What, you some type of freak or something? Guard.
I'm for the guard, but I'm still on hard.
Guard.